In ancient history, a war between the newly created races of Toril and the forces of Hell left humanity nearly extinct. In the post-cataclysmic world, humans placed themselves above all others, while races deemed undesirable watched from below. Ferox, a newly created race intertwined with beast and elf, were regarded to be even more monstrous and were forced into servitude. During the war, the gods and goddesses gifted unique arcane artifacts to those fighting against the Hells. These items turned the tides of war and brought forth brand new schools of magic in the form of the mage class. Alas, magic and hope fade from a world on the brink of destruction. Our hope now lends itself to a select and unlucky few.
Hello to all of you wonderful people out there. It has been a long time in the making, but let me introduce you and welcome you to the Unlucky Few, our first official live stream beginning and kicking off our campaign here. I am joined by all of these wonderful, lovely people. Would you all, starting with you, go through your names and your character's name again, just so we can kind of ease everybody into this?
My name is Cass, and my character's name is Arwen Potts.
I'm Audie. I'm playing Fendi and Rune.
We're a little ahead of Derek, so let's take a second. I'm Madison, or Maddie. I'll be playing T.
Patrick as Sylvanus.
Ash playing Kai.
Right, and off camera is our wonderful tech person, Derek. My name is Liz, and I am the DM for this group. We don't really have too many announcements to go over, unless I'm missing something before we get into this, because it is our first stream. So does anybody have any announcements we have to make before we go right into the game here?
Just if you're able to, like, comment, subscribe, any of our social media or our YouTube channel.
Everything is at Top D&D.
If you can't stick for the whole live stream, the recording of this will be going up on Wednesday on our YouTube if all goes according to plan.
I'm very glad someone has all of that lovely information. So, anything else, or should we bring it in?
I think we're ready.
Let's do this.
Alright, so, without further ado, we're going to bring this right into gameplay. So, a little bit of catch up for anyone who is not familiar with where we are starting this campaign at. In our Session 0 finales, we had two different meetups. We had the meetup of T and Syl. They were sitting at one table in the suites with Rare and Gab. We had at another table Kai, Arwen, and Fen, with Kat sitting there as well with you. And right as all of you were sort of scoping out the place, kind of looking around at some of the different patrons, some of the different tables, in came a dwarf, throwing open the doors, kind of in a huff, like scowl on his face. And this is, well, it pretty much finishes up the recap, so we're going right into the game now. Oh boy.
I sure do love beer.
Jesus.
Throws open the doors, sort of slamming almost into the walls, kind of with a loud crash. And just a scowl on his face, just like looking real pissed off, comes in. He has like, doesn't have armor on, has kind of like some finer robes, looks like more of a, not so much a fighter, more of a, maybe a noble or a businessman of sorts. And as he throws it in, scowl on his face, I swear to God, not a decent sellsword in this whole goddamn town. Got thugs left and right stealing all of my goods, making it impossible to get a delivery into town, and not a decent goddamn sword to be bought. Walks right up to the barkeep that had been helping you guys, and of course the same woman that had been helping you throughout your session 0. Kind of like starts kind of conversing a little bit more quietly with her, like very animated with his hands as he's talking. All of you are just kind of like.
I turned to Arwen. He seems very angry. Do you think he's gonna hit us?
I could not hear a word you just said. I'm so
Do you
sorry.
think he's going to hit us?
Yes.
Oh!
I'll just sip my wine and watch.
Oh my.
You better duck.
I don't have one.
I tried to just completely ignore the situation and continue drinking my wine.
No comments.
No comment.
Alright, and so
Very unconfrontational.
after a short conversation between the two of them, he kind of like gets up onto one of the stools sitting right up against the bar and stands up on it. Meanwhile, the barkeep kind of fills up another cup of wine, and she starts making her way back to your table, but we'll get to that in a second. As he stands up, all right, I know there has to be someone here who can help with this. So, I have myself a little issue. There is a delivery of fairly large proportions that need to be done, and I find myself in need of a good helping hand that might dissuade anyone from interfering with this delivery. I can pay good coin. I can pay good favors. I am talking good words into the Merchants Guild. I am talking good words into my contacts at the Academy. I am talking good words into nobles. Even a good word into one of the 4 councilmen that rule over the city of Baldur's Gate. If any of you could help me, could help you do whatever you want. That said, I need help. I need help now. Also have coin, good coin to pay. So anyone, please come up and see me, because for the love of any gods that are looking over me right now, I don't even care if they're dwarvish or not. I need help.
I'll sit down my glass immediately and saunter over and kind of like slide my hand onto the bar standing next to him. So, how much coin are we talking exactly?
Kind of looks at you over, kind of your general aesthetic, looks down, sees like the book at waist, looks like kind of cranes his head up a little bit from where he's standing on the chair. Standing on the chair, he's still a little bit taller than you. Kind of sees the staff on your back and just goes, you think this is the kind of thing you would be able to handle?
At any price, I can handle anything.
Oh my.
So how much?
Actually, he's looking for help, so I'm not even going to ask you to make a check for this. He'll just... So. $50 gold. 25 now. 25 upon completion of the job. And that goes to anyone in here. 50 gold. 25 up front. 25 on completion.
Now, is that 50
Oh, wait, my turn.
each or all together?
That is 50 gold ahead for anyone that joins.
Excuse me, sir. I like
So
down.
towards you.
I down the rest of my beer. Could we, instead of the gold, perhaps get a favor from you in the future with your various connections?
Looks over towards the barkeep, which has made their way to their table, and she like looks over at him and just like gives him like that look, and looks back to you, seemingly like it seems like the dynamic between the two of them is like if you were to pick one person in charge, it's surprisingly the barkeep, which is I would say a little unusual to everyone since the barkeep is a ferox and he is a dwarf, but he is sort of like looking up to her for respect and authority. Turns back and goes, "Son, I will give you both."
I'll need another beer because I'm in.
During this, I walk up to him and go,
I've
have
never
you
done
seen this
anything
man?
so brash before.
I now have props. Those of you that watched my session 0.
Hooray for props. Hooray for props drawn by people at the table.
That was me.
I have absolutely no fucking idea who that is.
If I help you, can you get information on him as well as gold?
Do you have more than one of those?
Yes.
I will hand that paper to whoever you want me to hand that paper to.
I guess.
All right, so I got 1, I got 2, I got 3. This is good. Anybody else? No offense. Sees the flamberge on your back and just, that looks promising. You're not wearing much. Kind of sees like this, like the monk staff on your back, and then kind of like starts piecing together like why you're dressed the way you are. Probably a good sign. Still not positive about you, but the two of you at least. This is good.
I'm just wheezing.
Sees like the fancifully dressed clothes and just.
I mean, did Syl speak up yet? Oh,
I was gonna say you raised your cup in game though, right? Your assistant.
Acquaintance.
System.
Are you also interested?
I am.
So do you kind of like gestures to the violin, hit people with that?
No, but I do inspire others to hit harder and more.
Oh, you're one of those magic types.
Oh, he must be a politician.
All right, probably good.
Like a gun. A mosquito. Don't know.
I'll look at Arwen and be like, who's he?
I don't even know who you two are.
All right, so we got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we got 4. Anybody else into this?
Can I like kind of saunter up, spin one of my daggers around my finger?
Those look sharp. You know what? Don't even say anything. You're already in. And at this point, Kat kind of like walks up to you two and is just like,
Come with us.
"Is this what we're doing?"
If you want 50 gold pieces, this is what we're doing.
Well, this is what we're doing. She kind of like waves at him and he goes, you're an odd looking sort of, sees the gun and just goes, "You know what? I don't care." And then Gab to you would just be like, are we also doing this?
I guess.
All right. And she just kind of like strolls up. You would see, well, actually, you haven't seen either of these people before. So for your group, you see Kat walk up to the tiefling. Human, kind of like, I would say almost my length hair, but kind of like a little bit like more mussed. Like a strawberry blonde leaning towards orange. Kind of has a like a sort of like a short sleeve, kind of like collared sort of shirt going on with like a vest on it, like very very gunslingery. With tight pants and like boots that come up to about the knee. A fairly like unbuttoned enough that it's like a little risque, but like also not risque because she is like very like it's impossible to notice how like not to notice how flat chested she is. And she has like a sort of gun like contraption kind of strapped to her back.
Like a cannon, kind of.
Yes, and for the three of you, you would see walking up to a Ganassi, shorter girl, kind of like light blue hair, same color eyes, with a staff on her back, and you would not know what this is. You would not know what this is. You would know, she has a, it looks like, you might not be sure which exactly one, but it seems like she has one of the focuses from the Mage Academy kind of strapped to her belt.
Interesting.
And she appears to be pointed ears, so maybe some kind of elven.
Dear diary, I just made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new friends today.
The dwarf is just, all right, the 7 of you. This is good. This is very good. All right. All right, we got all the help we need. Any of you who didn't speak up yet, fuck you. You're done.
How convenient for the 7 of us.
Just sort of, all right. Kind of like starts waving everybody over.
Already standing next to
I
him.
must.
I wait for everybody else to walk up, and then I'm like, okay, now it's polite for me to enter. And then
I will chug the rest of my freshly poured glass before coming over.
As it say, and as you walk over, the barkeep, meets you there, Sandra, and she hands you another glass as you're walking up. As she kind of like takes a place standing right next to him. He goes, "All right, so this is straightforward. I hope nothing will go wrong. I hope maybe all of you will just sit alongside of our carts and nothing will happen, and that would be great. So, we are going to a pickup point. We'll be taking carts there, led by horse. We'll be going into the cave where the pickup point is. We'll be picking up the goods, putting them all in the carts. We have 8 carts for goods. It's a lot of goods. That's why it's important. We'll be bringing the carts back. We'll drop them off. Most of them are coming here to Lady Sandra's very, very fine establishment. And that is it. Any questions?
This is legal, correct?
Yes.
Oh, great!
And simply not a lot of goods being brought in. A lot of wines, a lot of ales, a lot of casks. Not something that can be brewed in Baldur's Gate.
Understood.
But why are you picking them up out of the cave?
It is simply the drop-off point because traveling over great distances can be expensive to pay someone else to do. And also, it's really dangerous to go out of the cities. So
It can't be exposed to light too much either, huh? Right? That's how wine works.
Fair enough.
it's essentially just a drop-off point. This cave is sort of it's the middle point between a town south of here and here. So it's just where we drop off the goods. We go in and get them. The cave is not really used for anything else, so makes it easy on us. It's good.
Is it like a right now sort of thing, or like a couple weeks from now?
We will be leaving at dawn.
Oh, okay.
So get a good night's sleep, because we're leaving at dawn.
Where do you want to meet up?
Here. Most of the goods will be coming here anyways, I'm sure. Kind of like gestures to Sandra, who just... Yes, so most of these goods are from me. I would really appreciate it. I really appreciate it that you're doing this. All in all, this is probably... I would say probably about 2,000 gold pieces worth of goods that are being delivered to my inn. So once again, I really appreciate this and its urgency. And as... Be safe. There was some issues with the delivery last month, which is why this month's delivery is so big, and why I have not gotten anything in 2 months. So this is fairly important for the continuation of this establishment. I'm not sure if you've noticed. I'm sure she kind of like looks and sees like, your race, your race, your race, your race. It just goes, Dusttown is not always the best place, and it's hard to get people to supply us with goods, but this is one of the few places down here that has thrived. I would like to keep it that way. So I will be offering my own reward in with this. I apologize that this sort of trivializes my previous offer and reward to you for what you've already done for me. But I can give, between the lot of you, 2 rooms, free of charge, for however long you are in Baldur's Gate, and however long you will stay here. It is sort of just call it a free pass of sorts. We'll give you keys to those rooms, and you can keep those.
I look at Kat and kind of like grin, like.
And you will also have my eternal gratitude, and I will do whatever I can on your behalf. I know I don't necessarily look it now, but back nearly a decade or 2 ago, I was quite the young adventurer myself. But I will supply help in any way that I can if you would do this for me. I appreciate it. Thank you. She kind of gives a bow before going back behind the bar. The dwarf just... All right. Any questions? Any last questions?
I just walk away.
Things ready? Perfect.
See you tomorrow, sir. What's your name again?
That's a great question.
That's a great question, apparently.
This Darius. Darius Strongshield of the Strongshield clan.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Darius, Fendi and Rune of the library down the street.
Oh, interesting.
Pleasure meeting everybody. I'm gonna shake everybody's hands who lets me.
I look at it and don't do anything.
That's fair.
Knowing he has to suck up his like.
This kid. All right, I'm going home. Then I head home because I'm a little drunk.
You just have like 2 beers.
He had 1 whole beer,
it's just
and
like
you know
real life.
his secret. He's allergic to barley.
Oh.
Anyway.
Alright, so after that, he kind of like gets down and starts going about like the rest of his. He like talks to Sandra a bit more before he leaves the bar. The rest of you are left to your own devices for the night. So would anyone like to do anything? Apologies for those technical difficulties. We are still working out all the kinks and trying to figure out how all this technology stuff works. Anyway, so we are going to take it back from our wonderful T asking a very, very important question that is not at all repetitive.
Have you seen this man?
No.
Have you seen this man?
No.
Have you seen this man?
Unfortunately not.
I walk away.
That's not gonna get over.
As it's to say, Kat just looks over at you and just
What?
Oh, have you seen this man?
to Kat. No.
Alright, keep going.
But you'll tell me if you do.
Yes. Maybe.
Rude.
Time to go home. See you all tomorrow.
Alright, so Fenduin slips out. You slip upstairs to your room with Luna. What are the rest of you doing?
I'd like to purchase a room for the night.
We got free rooms.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet? That's not for tonight?
That's a prize.
Oh, okay.
I do.
Right, that'll be, you're doing me a favor. Call it 1 silver.
Very well.
Takes your silver, hands you over a key.
Okay, I'll get a room here too.
See, also 1 silver.
I'll give her 1 silver.
Alright, is anybody doing anything for the rest of the night that's important? Yes.
I just leave a note for Gerder asking her to watch over the shop while I'm gone. I don't know how long I'm gonna be, and please don't break anything.
Good to know.
I'm upstairs talking to Luna.
Gotcha.
I spend the night drinking and asking anyone that comes into the bar, have you seen this man?
God.
So,
I would just ask Rare, when we get up to the room, just, is there anyone out of the group that you are suspicious of from first glance?
Well, the woman that we were sitting with seemed a little abrasive, but not necessarily suspicious. There was the other tiefling. He seems... I think I know his type, and I don't think you can call that suspicious. There was the Ferox. Seemed straightforward enough. The drow was a bit curious.
That's one word to describe it.
Fendi, and are your ears burning?
But nothing that I don't think you can handle.
Likewise, I rather like the abrasiveness of T just due to the fact that it's very obvious what she feels.
Certainly very honest, yes. That said, if you do not mind, I believe I will stick behind on this particular mission. I think it would be best if I continue maybe exploring the library and we approach with a divide and conquer sort of mindset, if you will.
Agreed. And I believe if you get message out to Colette, she may be able to assist you with that.
I will most certainly do that.
And of course, of the one I mentioned earlier, if you see again, if you do see him, please let me know.
Yes, your young prince.
I have quite a few words with him.
I'm quite certain that you do.
Right, then, good night.
Anybody else have anything they want to role play before the night's end?
Hey Luna,
Yeah?
You want to get into this mission that we just got assigned to?
I got some stuff kind of to take care of here for the moment, so I might have to pass on that one. What are you doing though?
50 gold pieces a piece. We get to essentially babysit this guy while he transports some goods.
Huh. That sounds easy. Actually, that sounds way too easy. Should probably be a bit more suspicious of that if I'm being
Oh,
honest.
I'm very suspicious of it. Considering the fact that he barged in and saying anyone will do.
Wait a minute. Short guy, dwarf,
Yeah.
big beard.
Strong shield.
Yeah, I know the guy. He's he's honest. Kind of fucking annoying, but he's honest.
Alright. He didn't say anything about this being not a routine mission, so.
I don't know that I would trust anything he does to be routine, but you'll probably be fine.
Fair enough.
Maybe.
Well,
Just hope we don't piss anybody off that's not the right person.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, I have some stuff to take care of here, otherwise I would totally go with you. But I will let you know how things are when you return. Maybe we'll have some stuff to share.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright, chill. Go to sleep for the night. Anybody else with anything?
Just gonna go to sleep.
Alright, cool. So we approach the next morning. All of you are waking up in your respective places. What would you like to do?
I guess I'll get dressed and get ready and then head down for some breakfast. I guess.
Cat will join you.
I'll just, have breakfast and hair the dog it before heading out to where I think we're meeting up.
Sounds good.
I pack lots of biscuits. Don't know if I'm going to get a bit peckish on the journey. And I bring a book for light reading because I just assume it's going to be easy as cake, and I can read while we're just coming along. And then I head to the tavern.
Are we like all sitting together?
Absolutely not.
Fendine will sit one table away because he doesn't know if he's invited.
I'll be like tucked into a corner at a table. I think I stole a croissant yesterday that I still have. He'll be eating that for breakfast.
Nice.
I think.
I would be ordering breakfast, and I would be leaving rare few gold pieces, just in case this mission suddenly takes 2 or 3 days of camping out in the woods.
She would bow her head and head off for the day. Right, so.
Are we all sitting at separate tables?
I'd sit at the bar.
No one said they were sitting at the same table, so I'm just interpreting that as everyone sitting at separate tables. Alright, so Darius walks back in, looks around. You guys are the only ones who are up this early, because it is like, breakfast is being served, and you can get drinks, but like, it's still dark outside. It's just beginning to, like, that few peak moments of twilight are starting to come into the sky. As he, like, walks in and just goes, alright! Looks and, like, kind of, like, eyes sweeping, sees that, like, by yourself, at the bar with Gab, at a table with Kat, by themselves, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Kai's just sitting there, kind of like having his breakfast half eaten, obviously kind of bedraggled, and just groans tiredly.
Alright, chop chop, these swords aren't gonna sell themselves.
I can't sell this.
Was it trying to freight? Come on, cart's already ready. We're ready to leave.
I'll get up and head out first.
Anybody else?
Getting up and going.
I sigh very, vocally, and then leave.
I would also leave.
I wait for everybody else and then I head out behind them.
Alright, so, journey there. About a day and some change. Journey back, obviously, same distance. Taking a path there mostly. Be spending probably 2 nights camped out. Everybody good with this?
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't have a bedroll or a tent.
Hope you like grass. Hope you like stars.
Oh.
Oh, well, I have a cloak.
All right.
It'll be just
So
like a child.
in his hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Huh. All right. Kind of like turn towards Sandra. I think it's better more people in front, more people in back. In front? Yeah, probably a better idea. All right, 4 of you up front, 3 of you in back. Got 8 cards. Let's go.
I'll stick to
Back.
the back.
Front.
Friend.
Oh. His ears droop.
Front.
Nothing I'm not
Gab's
used
in the
to.
front. You're in the back. You're in the back. Next.
Back.
Back.
I said back first.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think because
So I'm in the front with T and who? Sylvanus?
I sit back.
You're in the back. Okay.
with Gab.
Maybe Cat goes up front. I'll take back.
Just kind of shrugs. All right. Goes up. All right, everybody ready? There's also like some hands that are like there's probably 2 people sitting in like the front of every cart, like in front of it to like guide the horses.
Mhm.
And then he's also which one is less people in at the back? He'll be sitting in the back with you guys then, kind of like looking over everything. But yeah. But it seems like there's enough people there where like you kind of get the impression that like you're not there to carry goods, you're there like for protection and like nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you all depart on your journey, rolling southward out of Baldur's Gate. So that would be directly out of Dust Town and straight to the hills.
Are we on horses or are we on the carriages?
You're on the carriages because currently the
Okay.
carriages are empty.
Okay, I didn't know if we were like horses, like on the side of the carriages or not.
No, horses are in
Okay.
front of the carriages pulling the carriages,
Gotcha.
and they're also like they're open. There's no like canopy over them. They're just open carts.
Gotcha.
So you're on the road. Any conversation that you would like to happen?
I ask everyone that I haven't already ever
God.
seen this man.
No luck.
Eventually.
I'll be quiet, I guess, for maybe like the first 30 minutes to an hour of the journey, just kind of trying to wake up a little bit, trying to see if walking in the fresh air will make me any less dead.
I'm just reading and occasionally looking to see if anybody's looking at me, so maybe they'll want to talk to me and be my friend. And then I notice that nobody's looking at me in a friendly way. Then I go back to my book.
I'm sorry, what's your charisma again?
I don't need to be charismatic to be lonely.
Holy.
I'm just kind of listening, keeping an eye on everybody and seeing what everybody else is doing. Monitoring.
I would just keep an eye out of our surroundings.
Cool. Make for the journey then, since you're the one helming this. For our first roll of the live stream campaign, make a perception check.
Not too bad at all.
17.
So 1 hour rolls into 2, rolls into 3, rolls into 4, rolls into 5. You're going through like a lot of the hilly areas south of Baldur's Gate, so it's honestly like you've seen one hill, you've seen them all. But everything is fairly uneventful for the first leg of the journey. Like you're just sort of rolling along. There's like an occasional like, animal off in the distance. You pass like one other like merchant caravan that's coming up the opposite way of you, and you kind of like skirt off to the side of the road, like not quite completely off the road, but like enough that like you can pass each other peacefully. But other than that, there's not much going on.
Would anybody like a biscuit? I brought 24.
Heck yeah.
How much?
What do you mean?
How much?
I brought 24 biscuits.
How much do you want for one?
They're free. You can just have one.
I am going to cut in real quick. You are in the front. You are in the front. Cat is in the front.
Right.
Gab is
Oh,
in
yeah.
the front. You are in the back.
Oh,
You are
yeah,
in the
I
back.
forgot.
You are in the back.
Okay.
He is in the back. So as you ask that, you two and him is the only one that answers that question. He'll just go, sure.
I mage hand the box of biscuits.
I would take a biscuit.
Oh.
Are they like plain biscuits?
They're like for like tea, like so yeah, they're
Oh.
plain.
He's like kind of like passing his own hand through the mage hand, just like
I like to think that the mage hand is pretty in gold.
I'll kind of like look at them, scowl a little bit, but then take one and look at it.
Is the front part 30 feet away or closer where they're sitting? Because they're further.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I guess they can't have biscuits. All right, and then I just have the mage hand hovering while I take the biscuit. I'm making friends today.
I would like to mention, probably for the journey, I would take my violin out and started to play, just to pass the time.
Make a performance check.
I believe that is a 19.
19.
Hey.
So you would see the half elf of your group, who I believe has introduced himself as.
Mm-mm.
Nope, no one's given any names yet.
Nice.
You would see the half elf in your group take the violin off of his back and slowly start to play. What kind of?
Probably one of his personal pieces that he has created. So it's almost like a melancholic tune a bit.
Got you. So kind of like this sad, sort of like lilting, flowing song. It's good. Clearly knows what he's doing with the violin. He plays it very well.
When he's done, I'll clap. Very well done. How long have you been playing?
As far back as I can remember, almost 2 decades now.
Ah, so that's Audie trying to figure. I got decades and centuries confused.
200 years.
Oh, well, you play very well. Splendid.
Thank you.
Nice, but maybe you play something a little bit more upbeat so I don't feel like we're walking to our doom.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
I don't feel like I'm walking to my doom. We're just going to get some wine and beer.
I don't think we're getting it, we're just delivering it.
Yeah, we're getting it from them to bring it to the lady. I've lived here 60 years and I don't remember her name.
Sandra.
Sandy. Yes, I think it was Sandy, like a beach.
Right. Anyway, and then I just won't say anything after that. Just eating the biscuit, keep
You have
walking.
been native to Baldur's Gate for 60 years?
61.
61. What brought you to Baldur's Gate?
Oh, just decided to move out from the family. I wasn't raised by drow, so they don't know that at the age of 16 you're supposed to they think that you're like grown up and not like a child. So sent out on my own, and here I am.
Skeet.
You said you were not raised by drow?
No, I had 2 human parents.
Adopted? Or found?
A little bit of both.
I see.
Sometimes like that, things may be.
And were they always native to Baldur's Gate? Or
No,
come
they
here?
were from, is it Waterdeep? Me, Audie, the person, doesn't remember the map.
That's certainly a city along that sort of coast.
It's Waterdeep. I don't remember. Down south. The countryside before it was, extra bad and scary and filled with things that want to eat people. More than normal.
Interesting. Your name you said was?
Fendian Rune.
I'll make a note of that.
And you are...
So this Nightingale.
Ah,
Charmed, I'm sure.
of course.
I will say.
Always charmed to make a new acquaintance.
Both of you, as Fenduin is speaking, one thing you do catch, since I'm going to give a little bit of punishment out here for not fully knowing your backstory, since both of you are from Waterdeep, both of you know Waterdeep is probably about a week to a week and a half's journey north of Baldur's Gate. So when Fendian says, Waterdeep, yes, south of the city, that immediately catches both of you and you're like, that's
the opposite of correct.
so remark on it if you will, but both of you have that knowledge.
So wait, when
So this is just assuming Fenduin might be a bit dumb in the head.
so when he says south, I'll kind of like make a weird face and glance around. Do you like notice that I'm making a weird face
Just a
too?
nod.
Something's the matter. The biscuit's not sitting well. I'm terribly sorry. I didn't make them. I bought them. I'm not much of a chef.
No, it was fine. So, where are you from again?
South. Well, it's just been a while. The old chap can't remember everything.
All right.
I came here on foot. I did not have a compass. I got pretty turned around. All I know is that I came here and there was an old lady who led me into the city.
I'll walk a little bit closer to you and kind of like side like, okay, so he's just kind of dumb.
I came under that assumption from yesterday.
I'll laugh a little bit.
And you are?
Chiron, and you?
So that's Nightingale? It's a pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you too. Smirk, keeps walking.
God.
Extra won't give it to you. Anyway.
Sorry, almost scalded myself on the simmer from that slow burn. Anyway, moving forward. Anybody else having any conversations on the way here?
Is Gab saying anything?
We don't have to RP it, but she has been like talking your ear off this whole time, just like asking you different questions about your life. And then after she was done, kind of like going to you and just being like,
Pick the right side.
"So, who are you?"
She did a weird one.
Yeah.
Okay, I was right. Cool. I'm Harlan. Who are you?
Oh, my name's Gabrielle, but everyone calls me Gab.
Good to know. Nice to meet you, Gab.
Nice to meet you too. Are you from the city?
No.
No? Where are you from?
Good question. I'd rather not answer.
Oh, that's good.
You're
I should've
curious.
used that.
Okay.
He mutters under
Are
his
you-
breath.
What?
They're up front.
I say, good. I should have used. That's a good answer. I should have
We're on
used
the opposite end of the
Ah.
campfire.
Yes. Still on the opposite end of the cart.
that. I keep getting confused. Sorry. Damn.
Do you live in Baldur's Gate now then?
Sort of. Kinda. Yeah.
Well, that's sort of, kind of, good.
I guess so.
Do you, I guess you fight with the little daggers that you got?
Pulls me out.
Nice. It's weird. If you're living in Baldur's Gate, I don't think I've ever seen you before.
You might not have. I hang around the docks.
Oh, really? Wow. I can't believe you have a house in the docks and not. Well, I mean, it's good that you're not down there with us, I guess, in Dusttown, but I mean, still, that's super cool.
Yeah, no, not exactly.
She's like, at this point, like, visibly confused, like, wheels spinning in the head, and just like, so you don't live at the docks?
I float there. I'm just kind of there right now. It's where I wound up for the time being.
Oh, I think I understand. I'm sorry.
Why? You didn't do this.
Okay. It's kind of like a little unsettled and kind of like shifts a little bit closer to T.
Are you planning on staying in Baldur's Gate?
I'm not planning on staying anywhere. I wasn't planning on being here in the first place. I'm just kind of going.
Well, if you're looking for a place to go for your next stop, maybe come talk to me.
Duly noted. Thank you. What did you have in mind?
We'll talk about it later.
Fair enough.
And then I stay quiet for the rest of the walk.
So where are we now?
Alright, so, after going through enough hillsides, the area starts getting, I would say, a little bit, like, hillier, if that is a word. I think it is. I'm gonna use it anyway. So before it was, like, kind of go up a hill, come down, flat for a while, and now it's just kind of, like, almost constant. It would be getting towards, at this point, getting towards, like, not quite sunset yet, but kind of getting towards the evening hours. The sun is certainly lower in the sky. The sky is getting more of that, like, orangish tint to it. In the back, Darius would kind of like whisper something to one of the people driving, and they would like get out and start making their way to the front cart. But the rest of you just been like, all right, so we're bedding down for the night soon. So if you see any places that seem like they'd be good spots for this, now's the time to say something.
I'll look around.
Can I also look around?
Yes, I will let either both of you make perception checks, or one of you make it with advantage. Your call.
What would you prefer?
Let's see. I have really good perception.
So do I. What do you got?
+4.
+5.
Okay.
Alright, so you're helping and getting advantage?
Yep.
Alright, go for it. Get the roll with advantage.
Is this my d20? Yeah, it is.
Certainly is.
That's a natural 20.
Hey!
I rolled the first natural 20, you guys.
Well done.
It's also your first roll of the session.
Yeah.
Now we just have to wait for somebody to reverse that. Regardless, alright, so you travel for about another 15-20 minutes before you notice coming like down from one of the hills, kind of positioned in between two hills is like a small grove of trees, probably a collection. They're not ancient trees, but they're old enough that all of them are probably like 50-60 feet tall, and they kind of like stand out in the otherwise mostly grassy landscape. There's probably like 5 or 6 of them that are all kind of like clustered together. It looks like it would probably be a decent spot to post up at and at least have some protection from the elements and somewhere to like tactically stand.
I'll point out you're probably the closest to me right now because we're both looking.
No, only you looked.
Only I looked. Oh, right, you're right. So I'll kind of point it out to everybody, like, hey, I think that would be pretty good shelter over there.
He kind of like notices and just goes, oh, well spotted. All right, get the carts over, and just kind of like yells it up the line, and slowly the carts of everyone else start to like pull over to the side of the road, sort of forming like a nice little semicircle around the area. Everyone would get off. A couple people would start setting up like sleeping bags and like different things like that. Somebody would start putting up the sticks necessary to boil some water to start cooking for the night. It's fairly late at night at this point, and everyone would kind of reconvene in one large group.
Are we?
I guess so.
I believe so.
Alright.
I sit a little bit away from everybody because you can tell that not everybody's too fond of his friendliness right now.
Can I find like a knot in a tree or like an opening in a tree and just shove myself in there?
Imagine it's like a little rat tail sticking out.
Please.
Make a perception check.
Cool. Oh god, that's like 9.
These trees appear to be made of pretty solid wood.
Damn.
You can go ahead.
I'll just plop down and then fall back onto my back with my arms spread and close my eyes, just exhausted, done, looking kind of not dirty, but like tired, etc.
Cat would come over and like plop down next to you.
Complains to her. How high off the ground are the carts? Like, how much space between the ground and the bottom of the cart?
Say maybe 3.5 feet.
I sleep under one of them in my bedroll.
Oh, she's got a bedroll.
I have an explorer's kit.
There's definitely like a few of the workers that just kind of like give you some odd looks as you do this, but that's about all that amounts to.
I would look for the comfiest place where it either be in one of the carts or outside to set up my own roll.
I'll just find a place where I'm not in everybody's way and fold my large cloak into quarters and be like, just like childhood, and use it as a pillow on the ground. You see this grown man just like.
Right, so everyone.
Is he crying?
No. Roll over.
Everyone has dinner and then falls asleep. Then I guess no one tries to make much conversation. It seems like.
Did they build a fire or anything?
Yes.
I'll sleep close to the fire.
I'll also like volunteer to keep like second watch if there's any sort of watch system. I want to sleep a little bit, but then I'll keep watch.
Yeah, there are 3 watches. Would anyone else like to volunteer for that or no?
I'll sleep when I have to and then watch.
Third watch.
I'll watch.
Which one?
Second? Is second already taken?
Nope.
I'm on second watch. We can be friends.
What watch is T taking?
I guess
T taking one?
first.
And you're not taking any?
Nope.
Alright, so I'll say Gab would volunteer to do first watch with you, and seeing you being tired, Cat will just and volunteer to take third watch with Syl. As like after it volunteers, it seems like none of the workers volunteer to take watch, and you kind of like get it that like, oh, like this is part of protecting. This is our job. Like, we got to sit in the carts and do nothing all day. Like this is what we're here for. Oh.
I like that Kai's exhausted from sitting in the cart.
I thought we were walking.
No, you were sitting in the cart.
Oh.
Everyone was like, we're walking up. I'm like, no, we literally told 4 of you to get in the first cart.
Well, anyway, he falls asleep on the ground by the fire.
So first watch comes. It is Gab and T. Make a perception check. I will roll for Gab. Ew, boy.
Not that much very rare.
I'm mad that you guys are gonna get to see my rolls before me.
7.
Alright, well, she rolled an 8, so I guess we'll
Well, we failed the mission.
So
We'll get him next time.
Yeah.
Alright, So passes uneventfully. You don't really notice anything special. If there's anything you'd like to talk about, I will let you.
Nope. If she has something she wants to say.
So this is kind of exciting, I guess. I don't know. I thought it would be more action-packed, but it's a little boring.
You get used to it.
Yeah, I guess a job's a job and money's money either way, right?
Something like that.
What do you think some of the favors will be? Like, I know he said he would like put in a good word with like, the guild or like some of his other contacts or like that one like council person that he knows. But like, what do you think that'll actually like do?
Little to nothing.
Oh, that's
Wow.
upsetting to think about, I guess.
If you bank on favors, you're not going to get anywhere. You have to get by your own grit and what you are able to do.
Well, maybe it'll still help.
Good luck with that.
Wow.
Okay. Guess we'll kind of cut that there. So first watch comes to an end, second watch comes up. Who's on second watch?
Oh, my back hurts. Ah.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, sometimes things are just like that in a way. And then I'm dusting off my cloak, and there's like grass going everywhere.
Perception checks for you.
I guess Arwen's the straight man in this comedy duo.
No! What's going on?
I got an
What
18.
happened?
I got a 10. I rolled a 5.
Thought you rolled
Got
a
18.
1.
18.
It's my superior drow vision.
I literally rolled the same number for that too. Also passes by very uneventfully. Nothing too much going on. Not even like a whole lot of like even nocturnal animal activity on about.
Like a suspicious amount of nocturnal activity?
No, just like
regular.
but like not like you don't see like wolves stumbling across
Okay.
your group or anything like that. Just like nothing.
So, Arwen, I noticed that you're being interested in magic.
I am
When
interested.
did this interest start? When did the seeds of knowledge blossom within you? Sorry, I really like knowledge.
I found that I could do it.
What can you do?
This thing with a hand that makes people scared.
I do mage hand. Is it this?
No, but that's really cool.
Oh. Are you sure it's not that?
I wish it was that.
What's the
but
hand
it's
thing?
not.
I'm so curious.
I believe it's called chill touch.
Oh, that hurts people. Please don't do that to me.
No.
Good job on learning it, but it hurts, so I don't want to see it until maybe if we see, I don't know, a bear or an
bear?
angry man.
Why
I
do
don't
you
know.
want me to use chill touch on the bear?
If it's like angry towards us.
If it's an angry bear, I'll use chill touch.
Exactly,
On the bear.
exactly. I could do this. Mage hand. Oh, and I can do this, and I just like do a big eldritch blast into the
Sounds
Like
like
a
an
It goes up about 200 feet before just
You fool! That's how they found the Avatar!
or it just goes up and just
Oh, beautiful. I love the sights of the night.
Aaron's just looking up completely.
Does it make
dumbstruck.
sound?
what?
Isn't
Yeah.
this amazing? I can
As
only
it-
do two
yeah.
things, but that's one of them.
It doesn't wake anybody up because
Oh.
it's so high up in the air, but it definitely makes sound. Somewhere in a different universe, you just hear took.
So did you just waste a spell slot on that? Is that what?
No, it's a cantrip.
Oh, it's a cantrip.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I mixed them up.
It's called, I've heard other scholars, he does that in character, scholars call it Eldritch Blast, but that's such a gross, sad name. I call it Sunbeam Burst. And I just make it orange.
That's delightful.
Isn't it? I love the daytime. I just wish I wasn't born as a blasted drow. It hurts my eyes.
I don't know why Byron feels the need to like fuel your enthusiasm.
You really found what he's passionate about, magic and daytime.
Fine by me. Iron's finding it entertaining.
Anyways, yes, magic is wonderful, and I'm so excited for you to open up the doors that are before you. There are so many paths that you can take now that you've discovered this innate magic within you. His hair, I imagine his, like, nicely kept hair is like, I love books!
Anything more from either of you?
Nope, good night.
I think we're pretty good.
Alright, second watch
Nap
ends,
time
third
now.
watch begins. So you get up, you notice the human with the restrap the cannon to her back before she kind of like comes over with you. All right, guess it's us.
Indeed.
Go ahead and make a perception check for the watch. Ew, boy.
Yeah.
-4. Cat, you let us down.
You rolled the same thing I did.
7.
Oh.
Alright, well, I would open up a character sheet to see what her modifier is, but a natural one is a natural one, no matter how you roll it.
Oh.
I wish there was a camera trained on me, because I have rolled the same number on, like, the encounters chart all 3 times. I have rolled 3 straight 4s on this chart.
Oh boy.
So, nothing happens, and it's a pretty quiet, eventful night.
This is fine
Might
with
not
me.
ask her a question.
Go for it.
You traveled with Kai, correct?
You could say that. We kind of just met in Baldur's Gate, no, 3 days ago. It's been a long 3 days.
And how did you meet Kai?
Just kind of, well, actually, I caught him, not caught him, but I watched him try to steal something very poorly.
What he tried to steal?
A fruit.
A fruit.
Yeah, a pomegranate specifically.
She saw that? Oh man, you must be broke.
Pomegranate.
It looks like he tried to steal it. He didn't do a very good job of it, so then he kind of embarrassingly paid for it. I kind of just watched it happen. And then we both wound up looking at the same job board, and there was a message there from actually the prince of all people. I don't know if you know who the Prince Finn is from Baldur's Gate. But he was offering a reward for this job, and so we kind of took it on and managed to do it. Got attacked in the process though. Had this cool stakeout thing. We got banned from this one inn in the Merchants District, but that's, you know what? Actually, never mind. It was a fun time.
And did you meet Prince Finn to take this job?
We didn't meet him to take the job. We just kind of took a flyer, but we met him when we got our reward because we kind of caused a scene getting our reward.
In what way?
Well, there were 3 fish people that kind of like came up onto the docks and killed this one dock worker, and we kind of killed them. And actually, the prince and the prince's his tiefling, yeah. Do you know the prince?
I know quite a few people in that castle.
Oh, are you a noble of
Not
Baldur's
of
Gate?
Baldur's Gate, but of Waterdeep.
Ah, I see. That probably explains why you don't know me then. Yeah. So the 2 of them kind of helped us take out the fish people, and then everything was good. And then they gave us our reward.
You just mentioned of how I would not know you. Are you a bounty hunter of some notable renown?
No, not a bounty hunter. I just kind of do odd jobs here and there, whatever I kind of survive. Doesn't necessarily have to be violent. I just have a knack for building things. And she takes the thing off her back and kind of like pulls a couple levers, and it kind of like the cannon part of it kind of pops out. The trigger kind of swings down, and she's like this.
And what is that?
Oh, this is my what to call it? I believe the appropriate name is the Thunder Gun, but I kind of made some modifications to what it originally was supposed to be. So this is, I recall it the Oculus Cannon Mach 1.
Now, does it run on magic, or does it run on some other material?
It runs entirely on sort of, it's mechanically powered.
So in what way? Like a steam, and that creates almost like a combustion, which will create the thunder itself?
Exactly.
Interesting. That might be the way of the future with how magic is turning out in recent years.
Yeah, you're telling me things are certainly not looking up in that regard.
Indeed. And if you take quite a few odd jobs, I know I'm interested in looking for different work here, and I would, if you would do me a favor of showing me what are the right jobs to take here in Baldur's Gate, I would be very willing to do a favor in return.
Sure, that seems fair enough. It seems like this might be a good enough start.
And have you met anyone else in this group?
Not really. I briefly met the Arwen. He's the
mouse.
Yes. And then the squirrely one, tall one. I think his name is Sven.
Yes.
We briefly met them when they walked up, but that's about it. They seem decent enough.
You have not met Dad before, though.
No, I've seen her around. I know of her sister. Her sister works in the. Huh. Yeah, she works in the castle. So I've seen her around occasionally. Her and I have spoke before.
The castle or in her office?
They don't let I don't go into the castle much.
How come?
Not exactly the type of person who should just stroll in there.
What do you mean by that?
They're not a huge fan of commoners strolling into the castle. No business.
Even though you do their work for them.
Well, what are you gonna do? Their coin's still good.
Depending on who you get it from.
Princess coin is good.
From what I can see, yes. Other nobles I've met so far, not so much. But that's from my experience in Waterdeep.
Is Waterdeep a lot like Baldur's Gate?
No. Baldur's Gate is much more tame compared to Waterdeep. The same hand that would help you up would be also the same hand that would stab you in the back in Waterdeep. It's all nobles games, from nobles down to the commoner and those that are in the shadows. And everyone has some foot in the shadow there.
Interesting. That sounds like not my scene.
I can agree from what I've seen so far and what I've heard from you so far. I have not given a chance to introduce myself, so that's Nightingale.
Cat. No last name needed.
Short for anything?
Catherine.
I assume with a C, or is it with a K?
With a K.
Thank you.
Pleasure to meet you, Sylvanus Nightingale.
First and last. Oh, and if you do meet my companion, she often travels with me. Rare. She's tiefling.
Got you. I'll keep that in mind. So, third watch comes to an end. Everybody up and at 'em, getting ready for the morning. Darius would kind of like walk by you all. So, we're all still alive.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
You're welcome.
What?
I'd like to cut up her jib.
Like you. Which means you did your job. Don't know if anything happened. You know what? Don't care. We're all still alive. Got a big picture kind of guy. Alright, let's go.
Question. Out of character. Did he give us the 25 gold up front yet?
Yes.
I can
I'll,
afford a bedroll on
I'll
the way
pet,
back.
I'll pat Kat on the back and just like thank her, and then climb up into the cart.
As she was like walking away, she just like looks back at you and just like eye rolls before just like turning back, and like after she turns back and eye rolls you, like her hips are like sashaying way more on her walk back as she just like saunters away.
Does she have scoliosis?
I don't think that's her problem, but I do think she has one.
Smart. I also I spray myself with a lot of perfume because I like
That's
to
a weird way
bathe,
to
and
say
there's
trip.
no bath in the wilderness, so I'm just like
It's lavender.
Oh, lovely.
anybody who's sitting with Fendi in the back, it just smells like the perfume department.
Oh,
I imagine even from the front he's still gagging.
I would take out a copper wire, twirl around my finger, cast a message just to Kai, and be like, I'm starting to regret where we are in the back of this train.
Wait, aren't we like right next to each other?
Yes, but you can't hear it.
You
Oh,
can
wait,
reply
can I-
back to it too.
I can reply back to it.
Yeah.
I'll just reply back like, why?
And then I will do it again because with all that perfume smell on him, I am sure I am not able to get that perfume off me for the next week.
So, you just nicely said he smells like French whore.
Yes.
Water deep.
I believe that's the first curse.
I don't know if
No, Audie said shit.
No.
Beautiful. Oh man, D&D everybody. So, progressing forward, it's not quite dawn when you set off. It's a little bit later. The sun's already kind of like low in the sky coming up. Anybody keeping a watch out as you roll?
For sure. Always.
I still would.
You raised your hand first, so both of you make a perception check.
13.
21.
All right, so another 2 to 3 hours. Not quite much of anything happening. You would notice probably about 15 minutes into the journey, you kind of like cross a spot where it looks like maybe an outpost used to be. There are some ruined buildings off to the left, a ruined building off to your right, off the path. It's shortly after that you go over a small bridge, but other than that, you kind of keep rolling along. Probably about 2 or 3 hours into the trip this morning, you're getting around about noontime. And you would see the mouth of a cave approaching.
Watch out, you're heading straight for that cave.
Not you. You would see the mouth of the cave
I
approaching.
want to make a joke.
You would. You are certainly the one who rolled the 21.
Fantastic. Alright, hey guys, is this where we need to be?
Kind of like stands up. He's pretty short. Kind of like stands on like the edge of the cart so he can like get even higher than just the cart itself and just sort of like tippy toeing a little bit, kind of like hopping up and down. Is he like, yeah, all right, in sight. All right, so oi, you in front, back here.
And I'll go.
Everyone kind of collects themselves at the the back of the cart. He's like, all right, so how this is gonna work? We're gonna get there. Make sure there's no funny business waiting in there for us. So I am going to go in, and all of you are going to go in ahead of me, making sure everything is safe. Once we locate the goods, everything is okay. Then all of you can position yourself, some of you in the cave, some of you standing outside of the cave and around the carts and whatnot. All of the workers will go in and transport the goods. You do not need to worry. You will not be carrying anything. That is not why I hired you. After everything is set up and ready on the cart, we will be departing. I will be leaving the front cart half empty so that all of you can be stationed in the front cart, sort of looking out for any sort of issues that may arise. And then, yeah, we will come back, same as we just did. Sound easy enough?
So we stealthed it.
Perfect, half the job already done. All right, so are we ready to go? At this point, you kind of pulled up to the mouth of the cave, kind of once again forming like the semicircle of carts, sort of like around the mouth of the cave, sort of like, you know, a pretty decent defensive position here.
Alright, I have something I'm going to do.
Yes.
Since I do recognize that there might be some sort of element of danger hiding in that cave, instead of just changing my clothes, I'm going to cast Disguise Self at will, so all of my clothes are a dark brown and black.
Oh, you're using your Mask of Many Faces.
Yes.
Good to know. Anybody else,
He stands there and just...
anybody else doing anything before we go in?
I'll just, I guess, climb down under the cart and stretch out.
I'd stretch out too.
I do have a question for all of you. Which of you need light to see where the cave gets very dark the farther we get in?
I was about to say, I'd like to go to the lip mouth of the cave and, like, peek inside.
I mean, if
so
we don't want torches, I'm not going to be able to see.
Before we get that, Kat would kind of like raise her hand and just go, don't know about you, but when it's dark, I can't see stuff.
I can cast a spell for that.
That would probably be appreciated.
I have dancing lights.
I've got dark vision.
I'll put my armor on.
I was say, I know you have dark vision. I know you have dark vision. I know you have dark vision. Do you?
Yep. I'll put my armor on Kat and just be like,
You nerfed it.
Poor human.
Oh, that's right, you don't, do you?
No.
Alright, Gab would also
That's
be like,
amazing.
I also can't really see on the dark, so that would probably be appreciated.
Alright, does anyone know the light spell, or are we going to use torches?
I have dancing lights.
Is that
I
a
could-
cantrip?
Yeah, that is a cantrip, right? Yeah, I would just put them out in like a straight line as we're traveling.
Alright, so, you said you wanted to peek into the cave? Roll me a perception check.
Did you see anything, Owen?
I don't know.
What do
Probably
your
not.
non-elvish
because
eyes
that's a
see?
7.
Alright, so it's a cave. There's, some rocks. But seriously though, looks to be, for the most part, a pretty natural looking cave. It does not look like this was like hand carved. So there's a lot of like rough surfaces, a lot of natural surfaces that look formed. It's a little damp, and as you stick your head in, all of you would notice the ears of Arwen kind of like give a little like, as you would hear a very, very faint sound of running water.
Whenever we do start moving in, I want to stealth.
Like running water, not dripping water.
Running water.
Oh, maybe there's like a stream or something in here. Kind of mutters to himself out loud.
Let's see if here's it. Now you're all good. Darius would hear this and just, yeah, there's sort of like a underground river that sort of kind of runs directly under this cave system. Careful not to fall in. It moves pretty quick. That said, you also kind of have to fall in on purpose if you do, so just don't.
Fair enough.
Just rugs. All right, so I'm ready to go in. So
I'll go last.
I'll go second to last.
Third to last.
We're just walking in a straight line.
I guess I'm going first.
Uh,
No, you know
Also,
what,
my
I'll walk
disguise
next
drops. I
to-
forgot dancing lights. Is
I'll go in with
concentration.
Sylvanus.
I'll walk next to Cat because I haven't walked next to Cat yet.
all right, so marching order is you last, you and Kat next, T next, then you and I guess Gab would kind of be in that conglomerate too, and then still leading the way with dancing lights in front of you. All right, so you head in. It's just it's at for the I'd say probably the first like 15 feet just kind of goes straight before taking a slight right turn, slight left turn. The cave's probably only about 10 feet wide. Some parts kind of like flare out to 15 or 20 feet. Some parts kind of like come back in. It's a decent collection of stalactites, and stalagmites.
Good for you.
Yeah, right. Thanks, 7th grade science class.
So we did learn something from it.
Throughout the cave, it's pretty. It's undisturbed. It's beautiful in a way that like a natural cave that has not been carved into is beautiful. But
I
other
mean,
than
it looks
that,
super uncomfortable.
there's
Do I not get to stealth?
You do. I was
Okay.
getting to that.
Okay.
I was doing my description first. I apologize. A lot of the rocks have like a darker gray. Some of them are like have some browns in them, but it just looks like a very natural cave system. Go ahead and roll your stealth check for me. I don't know if that was a good eye raise or a bad.
25. Yeah, 18 plus 7. 25.
Level 2. All right. You feel pretty confident that you are moving fairly stealthily. That said, you're also moving in the middle of a large group, so not the easiest thing to do. You kind of realize that if somebody were to spot the group and kind of like going after you, it would be fairly hard to hide in that. But you feel pretty confident that they probably would not go for you first. All right, so as the rest of you go in, taking a couple turns, you probably walk for a total of like, let's say 50, 60 feet in. Make a perception check because you were the one leading the way.
Why did you make me go first, guys?
Because he
I would
wanted to
say
go first.
who
No, I
is after you? It is you and Gab, right? I would say you can also make a perception check.
13 again. Oh boy.
9.
9.
Alright, so kind of going up the you start to hear the sound of rushing water. It starts getting a little bit more pronounced. But then another noise catches your ear. And it's like kind of like faint, but echoes like a little bit. You can't quite make out what it is at first, because you're also listening to the sounds of like people walking. You hear sound. Still does this. Everyone does what?
Stops.
As everyone stops and it kind of gets quiet, you kind of hear. And then like a rock just kind of like.
It's like something running.
You look very roguish. I'll turn towards Arwen.
Okay, and I approach quietly.
I would take out the copper, roll it around my finger, and then cast message to you. I hear skittering and rocks dropping.
Can you say that again?
I hear skittering and rocks dropping.
Skittering and rocks dropping. Got you. I would nod my head in acknowledgement. I can reply to this, right?
Yes.
And I'd kind of prick out my ears and hopefully like listen in and see if I can hear it as well. Can I?
Perception check.
20. Not unnatural, but 20.
You wait like probably like 10, 15 seconds, not really hearing anything. You just kind of turn back to say something to him. You also hear.
Like not even replying. Like he's like, I got you. Can I hear what directions it's coming from?
In front of you.
I would point. It's coming from that way.
I would use message and do it to each member of the group saying, we have movement ahead. Prepare for combat.
Okay.
Should we turn
Already
out?
my
I reply
stuff.
back. Should we turn out the lights? Maybe just.
We need this.
To say, Gab kind of like pulls her staff from her back. Kat is now walking, Oculus cannon in hand.
Daggers out.
To continue approaching.
Is it wide enough for us to walk next to each other?
You can probably get about 2 wide at any given point.
I'm gonna fall back a little bit. Like I don't want to be second anymore. I'm gonna kind of fall back 1 or 2 people.
I'll go to second.
Yeah, and Gab was kind of with you, so Gab kind of like walks up kind of next to you. Sorry about that. A couple more technical difficulties, but we made it for a longer stretch that time, so improvements, progress, always important. Alright, so, as I was saying, you make another 10, 15, 20 feet into the cave before you see kind of like an archway of sorts leading into it. Seems like a more open kind of system. As you approach it from the back of the group, you hear Darius. Oi. Oi, 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 oi. In front, you.
What?
So, it's going to be a room here. Kind of like a windy hallway to the one side of it. You go through that, there's a second room. And past that second room will be kind of like more of a carved stone wall that doesn't look natural. A grate in that. You go through the grate. That's where the goods are. Just a heads up.
Noted.
Right, so you're kind of standing at the edge of the mouth of that archway now on your side of it. What would you like to do?
Well, no time like the present.
Right, so you go through. Right, in that case, I will need to go and get our first visual aid, shall we say. So I believe now would be a good time to cut to our first break. Sorry to cut to break so soon after our technical difficulties, but still, it would allow me time to get the table prepped for our first use of a visual aid, our first use of our minis, and quite possibly our very first combat of the stream. So we will see all of you in about 15 minutes, and yeah, we'll be right back. Alright, welcome back to the Unlucky Few. We have finished up our break. I have prepared the table for our first, we'll call it an encounter of the campaign. Very exciting stuff. So, jumping right back into it, our party had just come to the opening, the mouth of sort of a room in the cave, almost, a wider opening. And they were instructed that this was right around the area where the goods were to be located. So, starting in on this,
We actually have a map.
do you have a map?
Vamos, let's go.
So, that is what you walk in to see. Can I, one more time, get a marching order?
I'm in the front with Arwen, I believe?
I'm second to last with Cat.
Yes, you are with Gab.
Oh, Gab, okay. Yes.
I am right behind them.
Yo, Sylvanus looks so good.
Is
Thanks.
that charisma?
I painted it. I painted mine as well.
Alright,
Still
who is
cool with that
who is
melee
next?
I think that you said that you moved up, didn't you?
I moved back.
Oh, you moved back.
Would be
So are you next to me then? You said you moved back 2 spots.
Yeah, I moved back like 2 spots.
You're not next to me, right?
So then it's Arwen and whoever Arwen's with, and then me and Kai.
Got you. So the two of you are in the back? Because you're in the
Yes.
very back, right?
Yes. And then Kai said that he moved back 2 spaces. So I'm assuming he's next to me at this point.
Oh, that is the wrong mini. That is how you venture in, with the dwarf trailing behind all of you. Oh, almost went into a T accent there for a second.
Yeah.
God. Whew.
Hello?
Better. All right.
Tree.
You're welcome.
T. Watch yourself. All right. So, Darius is behind you, and he, taking stock of everything, and just goes, don't really know what's off to the right. Think it's just part of the cave. To the left is kind of where we need to go, though, but everyone seems really suspicious of something.
Can I do a survival check to see if I recognize like any sort of like animal things that might be in the cave? I'm familiar with cave creatures. Or whatever you think would be appropriate.
Probably a perception check, because right now you're still just looking around for stuff. You're not really investigating anything.
Probably some
specifically.
mice.
That's gonna be 14.
14. You notice sort of like along the cave, there's like a little bit of unnatural coloration on one of the walls. It seems to be like white streaks.
Can I go over to the white streaks and like touch them to see what they're made of?
They're very sticky.
Oh,
I'm so sorry.
oh, good heavens!
No, you're not.
Something tells me there are very large spiders down here. Something I thought I
Oh,
wouldn't have to see for quite some
That's
time.
not what I was thinking of.
Inappropriate.
I don't even know if that's in character or out of character.
Yes.
Either way. God.
I'm assuming from my great experience with these things that it is spiders, large ones, and we're going to get eaten and die.
As-
Well, 50 gold isn't worth my life. I'm not actually leaving. I'm just kidding.
As if to say, further on in the cave, as if on cue here.
Well, Sylvanus, you're a good chap. You chose the lead. Lead away.
Spiders, that's it.
Big.
Oh no.
I'm talking at
doesn't
least the
like
size of your
spiders.
head.
Which direction are you going?
Gourd.
Which direction are the goods again?
He says they're to the left.
You're thinking maybe we just ignore the spiders, get the goods, and get out?
Where are you going?
Perhaps half of us go one way, half go the other.
Alright, so as you are walking this way, Misty follows, you follow. What are you suggesting?
I said, like, maybe half of us go check on the boxes and half go investigate what we think might be spiders. But I'm only gonna do that if like other people agree to do that.
I'd rather just do what we came here for.
So you're kind of able to see that. I would say you are able to kind of like take a quick peek over here, and you would see that at least.
Does it look sus?
No more sus in the rest of the cave. Do you go further?
Do you want to come investigate the boxes too?
The boxes are this way.
I thought that was the way of the box.
Nope, he said to
No.
the left.
Oh, I'm not very
To
good
the
with
left.
directions.
To the left.
Never
Everything
mind.
you love is in a box. To the left.
Never mind. Yeah, I want to go. I want to go towards the boxes. I want somebody else to look for the spiders.
I want to know if there are spiders, but I'm not willing to look for them.
Exactly.
So you would notice there is like an opening in the wall there, and probably a 25-foot drop off of the ledge you see there is a river rushing underneath.
And I hear the cheering coming from here.
That way.
Oh.
Oh, so it all goes.
Everything is coming from the same direction. Yeah,
Are you
crazy.
freaking out in character?
I'm out of character.
Okay.
In character, he's cool as a cucumber.
Yeah.
A nervous cucumber.
Are you continuing to move?
Yes.
All right. Once you get to the passageway, that is single file. Now I do need a marching order. A single file marching order. Definitive.
I
So
will
you're
stay
in,
last.
Still, you're
Second
in,
to
still
last.
you're in front.
Knowing Gab can't handle herself, I'll push in front of her.
All right.
Now, can you move still up
Second to last was it, Kai?
Yes.
Move still there. Body, can you reach?
Oh, sorry.
Move still
Yes.
up to the mouth there.
Tell me when to stop.
Up to the mouth.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you wanted this one. I was like, he's already there, guys.
Da-da-da! A cave.
Indeed. Alright, so to continue moving further, you would eventually see kind of like it start to open up again, as there appears to be some kind of like a stronger sound of rushing water off to your left, and sort of like an alcove to your right.
Can I stealth, please?
Roll stealth.
Do I need to stealth again if I also?
I'd say no, you haven't really done a whole lot to break stealth.
I really want to know, can I get myself bardic in the no, I cannot, because that's a certain type of bard, not. Straight roll. Oh boy. That is a 10.
You feel confident you're being as stealthy as you can.
I'm gonna draw my sword because I'm scared.
You're
Noted.
all the way in the
My
back.
staff is at the ready.
Don't skewer
Noted.
me on accident.
So where are you moving towards? Behind you, in a not super subtle whisper, it's up here to the right.
I also want to kind of keep an eye on Darius because since he's behind us, I'm afraid something might try to nab him.
He at this point, like after, because no one originally told him about the skittering. So when you got into this,
I did everyone.
oh, in that case, at this point, kind of like seeing that and kind of like hearing it again in this room, he's moved up and he's now in between Kai and Arwen,
Okay, so he's fine.
kind of like, you know what? Maybe not the back.
He's cushioned.
Yes. So where are you moving to?
I'll move right here to allow a second person. Actually, can I move right there to allow a second person?
Yes. Do you follow?
That's
Yeah.
Everyone else follow suit.
Yes.
Do you want to move everyone else?
Yep. Go for it.
And I'll try to stealth once I get like midway through the hallway. Or I guess just I will be midway once the whole line moves up. Am I allowed to make a stealth check?
Go for it.
Okay. I don't want to do it without asking.
Yes.
That's an 8. I like to imagine his sword's clanking around as he's shakily holding it.
On either side of the hall.
They'll never catch us.
Rubber sword.
It could be a singing sword from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
So you're now kind of like seeing everything that
Dude.
you're now kind of seeing everything that you're seeing. Is there anything else you'd like to do still?
Do I see anything?
Make a perception check.
15.
15.
Yes.
So the webs are starting to get a little bit more numerous as you go in further. Actually, 15 was the mark for that. You also, as you're doing that, kind of like breathe in and kind of like. You smell like what the cave smells like. Like it's rock, it's damp, moist rock, moss and that kind of stuff. But it's almost like burning smell, a little acrid,
Like sulfur.
maybe a
Or
little sulfur.
Arachnid.
Get out!
Get out.
Go home.
God, everyone at the table takes 2d6 psychic damage from that goddamn pun.
My heart.
Don't actually roll.
7. Sorry, go ahead.
It's a magic number.
Be a DM, they said. It would be fun, they said. All right.
It's
But yes,
definitely not the
that is-
second part.
That is what you smell. So what are you doing, Sil?
I like to wrap the copper wire around my finger again
Yes.
and cast message towards Fenway.
Uh-huh.
And I would ask, Fenway, could you move the orbs up closer? Put one here, one here, one. I would point, as I said, here, and then one in there.
Well, I'm like I can't see you because of where I am. But
When you get up.
oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that once I get up there.
Yeah. Make a perception check for me, Fenduin. Fendian, sorry. I always think the U becomes before the I at the end of your
It's
name.
a lot of like that in a lot of fantasy names, so like I get it. So 17.
From behind you.
I go, "Ugh, blast you," and I say that in undercommon, and I just Eldritch blast behind me.
And then I start blasting.
And then I started
Darius, sorry.
blasting.
Now he's in the middle of us. Now.
Make an attack roll.
It's just me, but in the back. Oh wait, I get. Oh, natural 20!
You absolutely crit the ever-living shit out of the rocks on the far side of this
Thank
room.
God wasn't like an innocent person.
I'm here to help you get your
Arwen's got no head.
Oh, sorry, I used Sunbeam Burst.
There you go. That's why it didn't hit him. But you look back, you don't see anything yet. You just heard that, but you heard it from behind you, whereas previously you were only hearing it from in front of you.
There's definitely at least one of them behind me. I heard it. I did not hit it. I
So
don't
what
know
are you
where it
doing?
is. I'm freaking out.
Group in front.
Somebody needs to give me my inhaler. I left it at home.
It's just a bag of air.
All right, group in front. What are you doing? Because where you're standing right now, the group behind you cannot move forward.
Just move in.
Before I move, I like to look straight up.
You look straight up. It's probably only about 20 feet tall. You have dark vision, right?
Yes.
I want to make your roll perception for this. You see webbing on the ceiling, but that's it.
No spiders.
Doesn't appear to be yet. T, you said you're moving up?
Yeah.
Where are you moving up to?
Here, here-ish, so that people can file in.
I will do the same. Can I look out towards that way, make a perception check to see if there's anything over by the river?
Any what?
Look to see if there's anything like over here. 'Cause you said
Yeah.
That's a 12.
It appears to go slightly downhill there, so that the river's probably only 15 feet below where those kind of jagged sort of rocks that like branch off into it are. But you don't see anything over there. It looks very deserted.
Right next to T.
Do they file in after us?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they would continue filing in, yeah.
Well, 2 of them are NPCs. I believe.
I'm facing the opposite way and like walking backwards, towards everybody because I'm terrified
He's
of
watching
the
the
spider.
As you approach there,
So now you're in front.
Side by side.
T, make a perception
guess.
check.
Looks promising.
15 again.
Oh, good.
Oh, nice.
As you take a couple more steps forward, the smell is getting a little bit stronger, and from like deeper in the cave, you just hear like a really low, just like.
I'll pick up a nearby rock
Don't
and
like
just chuck
that.
it that direction.
You're right, Sylvanus. Frog in your throat.
It echoes.
Why are you saying that?
So,
Nothing
your
else.
throat? You clean your throat?
It echoes.
Well, there's no growling coming from that direction, so ready yourselves for a fight.
Alright, anybody moving anywhere else?
No.
I'll try chucking another rock.
Sorry, what was down this way?
Water.
Just
Water. Yep.
Okay.
It echoes again.
Raspberry.
I guess I'll move up another 10 feet.
Go with her. Not even friends, and I'm risking this.
So I was going to say, you still can't see any deeper in the cave yet because none of you have kind of ventured beyond that alcove. So it smells.
I'll poke my head out.
I think the best way to do this.
Do you want me to make another roll?
What?
I'm like poking my head out.
Yes, make a roll.
22.
You would see, kind of like in the center of the room there, a medium-sized creature. It appears to have 4 legs, kind of extending from a circular-like body that just is like the body is almost the top of it entirely a mouth, with 3 clawed hands sticking up from the body. It's kind of like growling softly, occasionally stopping, and just sort of pacing a bit in the cave.
And 1 or 2?
1.
There's something in there. It looks kind of like a spider. And I don't see anything
Kind of?
else. Like if I look up at the ceiling, I don't see.
Is the webs getting thicker still here?
Mm-hmm. You look up at the ceilings and you can see in the middle of one of the webs is just a large black mass.
Possibly 2. Do we want to bring it here, or do we want to?
Does it look like there's more room down there?
We're too cramped in here to really do much damage to it.
It's a little bigger, I suppose.
As you're talking a little bit louder from behind you, Audie, you hear and it stops suddenly.
Everybody sees Fendian, like his eyes are about to pop out of his head. I
Are you
can't take it anymore.
Are you still facing the back?
Yeah, I'm still. I've had my back turned the whole time.
Make a perception
I
check.
can't take this anymore. An old chap can only be pushed so far. 8. I'm trying to focus on the dancing lights while also looking around. Like, I'm sure it's hard for him to.
It stops all of a sudden, and you're just like, kind of like still like peeking into that hallway there a bit.
I need to face him the right way.
Yeah, there's nothing, and then just.
I'm going to need to buy a new pair of breeches.
You look up, and there is a large, easily 8, probably 7 or 8 feet long, with legs included, spider hanging directly above you.
He like screams, but like 10 octaves higher.
And with that, we are going to roll initiative.
They had to be spiders.
I'm so sorry.
Pat.
Where's my initiative?
Come on, man.
Natural 20 plus 3, 23.
Alright, I will
Maybe
come
we'll
around for
die
numbers
in the
later.
box
First, I
somewhere.
will set out the. I'm just gonna remove this
You
so we
ready?
can actually do this.
What
10.
was it? 10. Okay.
Accurate.
Can I be back?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Ate that.
Where'd you get these cute little spiders?
Cute!
I bought them.
I'm not touching it.
I can't even see the book.
I don't like touching this.
I was to say,
Oh.
out of character note, Pat doesn't like spiders.
What would be a good first dungeon? Okay.
It's literally like fighting giant rats. It's like a rite of passage.
But they have more legs.
But they look furry.
But it's
That doesn't help!
rats are furry too, and they don't go. They just go.
Well, their feet make little pitter patters. Come on.
But like that's a whole kind of pitter patter.
I almost called them snakes and not spiders. Spiders don't make that much noise when they run, do they?
I don't know. I don't try to stay near
I
them.
guess these ones do because they're huge. Alright, let's go, girls.
Girl.
If you say
Yeah,
so.
it's getting late.
Da, 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 da.
Let's go.
Alright, that's good at least.
That's exactly
Alright,
what I was
so
going.
initiatives. 25 to 20.
Oh yeah.
23.
Cass, are you rolling for initiative? What is your high roll?
Did you already roll for initiative?
9.
Alright, so 23 to 20, or 25 to 20, only you? Alright. The 23. 15 to 20.
18.
Oh boy. Oh no. They rolled pretty well. This is going to get pretty hairy.
Oh, thank you. No.
10 to,
Those houses not dirty here.
10 to 15.
11. That was a little rough, I'm sorry.
Alright, 5 to 10.
9.
7.
How can I heal you guys if you don't go before me?
Sorry, our tech person is asking me really complicated questions behind the camera.
He's
And I'm not
trying
sure
to
how to
ask
respond.
what we want to order for dinner, but we can only use our fingers.
A number
food?
2 with a side of no.
Technically, fast food, you can say number 2.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm not even looking over there. I don't know what's happening.
So this will go great. I mean, what are those?
I don't know. I don't want to know. It's scary.
They're like,
Alright, so first off, in this fight, Fen,
Yes.
you kind of get over the fear of a giant spider being literally overhead. It drops down. You kind of like take a quick half step back, and it is right in front of you. What are you doing? Your turn.
Bonus action. Hexblades curse the spider. Action. Double-handed. Going ape shit on it with my sword.
All right, make an attack roll.
So.
just pretend you're in the zoo.
Ugh. 9.
That is unfortunately going to miss. You go to you.
So sick.
You cast the Hexblade's Curse. The already like shadowed caverns, since most of your dancing lights are ahead of you, kind of seem to gather and coalesce around the spider. And as you go to swing at it, it's kind of like just glances off of like its mandibles that appear to be a lot harder than you originally thought, and it's sort of like ching as it hits the ground. You sort of like bring it back up in a defensive stance, but it doesn't really find purchase in the spider.
And I can't really move anywhere, so.
Doing your
Stay
turn there.
put. Yep.
All right, after that, T, your go.
Do they look like they're going to start coming at us?
Are you still peeking around the corner? As you're peeking around the corner, you hear from Fen just, which is hilarious. First off, but as that happens, you see the black mask kind of like arms extending out, like, and kind of like getting ready to drop down. You see
my
this
God.
turn its attention there, and you hear like
Oh.
you see like a small figure poking out from each of these. They have like almost like pig-like faces without
Ew.
noses, and
Ew.
kind of like bloated looking bodies that are just grotesque and otherworldly. Same thing with now that you're getting a better look at this creature. It just doesn't look, it looks very unnatural.
I'm getting Hadar vibes from that thing.
So, is this still on the ceiling?
The mouth and the
Yes.
oozing
You know what
blackness.
the green thing reminds me of? The live action Scooby-Doo movie Scrappy Doo.
So how many monsters are there
When
in
he goes
total,
crazy.
including all the spiders we already saw?
5
Okay.
appears to be.
Can I tell that though?
Yeah, you can see it kind of like peeking around here. I'll say it's like here.
Is that actually there, like the
Yes.
the bumps?
Yeah, there's like some stones there. It looked like it was kind of like like behind the stones before, and it's kind of like peeked up now, kind of like its interest caught by the scream.
Thanks.
I'm going to groan very loudly.
Oh, she
and
found one too.
Go here, which is about 30 feet if I'm counting correctly.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, about 30 feet.
And wail on it with my staff, whatever you want to call it.
Roll the hit.
It's a natural one.
Ooh.
Oh
no! I am being generous. I do not have like a nat 1 cable or anything like that to make your life an absolute living hell if you nat 1. But you go to swing at it and it kind of like sees you coming, so it sort of like ducks back down and you just sort of like smash your staff straight into the rocks there, missing it.
Can I bonus action try again?
Not with the staff, but I think you're allowed to make an unarmed attack as a monk, right?
Yeah.
The bonus action?
Yeah. Well, I've done it before, so.
Yeah.
18.
I'm going to look it up just to make sure, but I'm almost positive an 18. Yeah, an 18 really hits. So roll, what is your current monk weapon damage? Your fist damage?
D4 plus 5.
Yes. So go ahead and roll damage for me.
8.
8 points of damage. Alright, so missing with the staff, it kind of like pokes its head up again to kind of snarl at you, kind of like expecting like, oh, it missed, here's my opportunity. And like without even missing a beat, you just kind of like swing down and then kind of like almost in a flow of motion, kind of bring like a right hook around and just catching it right on the side of like the where its mouth would be, but its flat face sort of kind of throws you off. Either way, you hear bones kind of crunching underneath your fist as it sort of like slams its other side of its head into the stone outcropping there. It looks like dazed for a bit. Still standing there, but it definitely looks like even with that one punch, like it's already looks a little shaken.
Now, just make sure my back is to the wall, not where the thing is coming from.
Yes. Alright, anything else for your turn?
That's all I can do.
Alright, ending that, and as now the spiders go. So, the one in front of Audie. Fen, apologies.
I'm not crying because of that. I'm crying because of a spider. Sure hope the spider doesn't get a 16 or higher.
Alright, so the spider is going to attempt to make a bite versus you. That is going to be an unnatural 20 to hit versus armor class.
Just barely hits.
Alright, I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
I just noticed you're coming soon over there, Cass.
Huh?
Your spell slot.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't have spells yet.
Sorry, where's there are my
I have
saves.
one.
Are those my saves? Where are my saves?
Did you have a cantrip?
Should be 8 plus.
Saves are at the bottom.
Fancy plus
Okay,
your-
it didn't say save, so I got scared.
Yes.
17.
17. Alright, you pass. So first you take 10 points of piercing damage.
Ouch.
It rolled very well. Literally max rolled.
Ooh.
Squishy.
That said, you also, as the teeth sort of like launch out, kind of sink into your arm, you feel like a pulse of poison kind of into your body. That said, you've been around spiders before, and you, as it's like going into you, kind of are able to like shake it off, and almost in like a pulse, it's sort of like you're able to resist the effects of the poison, as the poison has no effect on you, and you are now immune to the poison for the next 24 hours.
Ooh.
Right, so that ends that spider's go. The other spider is staying where it is, going to kind of like ready itself almost to, looks like it might lunge towards T. That is going to be, goodness gracious, this is not good. I'm rolling very well for them. Hopefully I'll roll good for your NPCs as well. 22 to hit versus armor class. As it fires webbing at you, sort of like hitting you and almost like pinning you to that wall behind you that you have your back to. You are considered restrained by the webbing.
Great.
Restrained, your speed becomes 0. You can't benefit from any bonus to your speed. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. The creature has disadvantage on dex saving throws, but you can, as an action, try and break free from the webbing on your turn. The webbing can also be attacked and destroyed by other creatures, but that's go. It is going to move, kind of come down from where it is, and kind of perch atop the other piece there, and other than that is going to end its turn. Next up are the Dretches.
Oh. Oh no.
Alright, so one of them is going to, the one that you already hit is going to make an attack against you. Can somebody please move the other one up to T as well?
Right there?
Yes. They're both going to take bite attacks against you. Do they have? No, they don't. First one is going to be a 14 to hit versus armor class.
Nope.
Other one is going to be a 17 to hit versus armor class.
Nope.
Alright, they both miss you. Even restrained, you're kind of able to kind of dodge out of the way of one, kind of one-handed, your staff to the other one, kind of poke it in the face as it goes to try and bite you, able to keep itself off of you. That ends both of their goes. After that, it is now Cat's turn. Kind of seeing Fen get bitten and kind of seeing you rush off, and from what little she's seen of you, thinking monk, probably competent, is going to turn around and attempt to fire at the spider that is in combat with Fen. It's going to be enough to hit versus armor class. She fires around at it, dealing 11 points of 11 points of piercing damage as she kind of fires around from it. The blast from her Oculus cannon kind of sounding very loudly throughout the entire caverns. But it strikes the spider kind of right on the side of its head, and as it does, it's a small explosion of shrapnel as it hits it. And it kind of steps back a bit dazed, kind of refocuses on you. Definitely looking a bit shaken by that. That ends her go. Math. After her turn, we come to Kai.
Unfortunately.
What would you like to do?
Oh. I sure hope I don't get eaten.
I'm surrounded.
Just say go away.
I'm going to
So listen.
use Guiding Bolt on the spider near Fendian.
Right, roll the hit.
Oh, it's a little far.
Excuse me. Oh, that's not a flat surface. Alright. Okay. Oh, that fell out of my hand.
Maybe it was lucky.
9?
You fire and it kind of goes just high of the spider, slamming into the rocks behind it and kind of causing a large amount of rocks to kind of tumble down off the wall.
And hit the spider and kill it?
No. But that was very creative. I like that.
My bad. Okay.
Anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Cry. Let's
That
see.
can be a free action.
Is cantrips count as actions or bonus actions?
It depends on
when they're an action or a bonus action.
Wow, where are my... There they are. Well, that's not smart to do in a group of people. I guess I will not do anything else right now.
All right, ending your turn. That brings us to the Maul Demon. Is going to,
I can move for you.
yes, make its way up to T.
Right there?
Yes, indeed.
Dang.
Take
Just
double
get
back.
quadruple
And it is
teamed.
going to take a bite against T. It's going to be An 18 to hit versus armor class. You take 10 points of piercing damage as it kind of like grabs your leg with one of its odd claw-like hands and then just sort of lunges itself at you, kind of like biting you right around, like right below your knee. Before you're able to kind of like kick it off, you feel the blood like trickling down your leg. That ends its go. And with that, we move to Arwen.
Cool. So I'm closest to this spider, right?
Indeed.
So I'm gonna turn around, and this spider's pretty big, correct?
Correct.
Fortunately.
It's like a 7-footer.
It's like a 7-foot spider.
Indeed.
All right, can I slide underneath of it and attempt to like slice it?
You can certainly try. Roll an attack.
Come on.
That's not too bad.
Okay.
Looks good.
What do I have? So it's 14.
You adding the
Wait,
correct
no,
thing?
wait.
No.
I added the wrong one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Would
Your
you have done
dagger.
your attack
Where's
bonus?
my attack?
It should be somewhere around here. Those are your attacks.
Uh.
You're going to be adding Dex plus your proficiency to attack.
Yes.
So 3 plus, what's your proficiency bonus? 2?
Yeah. So plus 5 in total.
So 16.
Sorry.
It's okay.
16. It
Alright.
takes me a minute to process things.
All right. 16 to hit does hit. Go ahead and roll damage, and since it is engaged in combat with Fen, you do get sneak attack damage.
Alright. So
Finish him.
If you said you're using a dagger,
Finish it.
can I use a short sword?
certainly.
No, well, you would have to move up.
She said that she was going to try to, like, slide under to...
Yeah. So she is like engaged in physical combat with it.
We just
Yeah.
can't
If you're using a
physically
short
put them
sword, a short
together.
sword is a d6 damage plus your sneak attack, which is a d6. You're rolling 2d6 damage, and then adding your your dex modifier. Your dex modifier.
26. And then I get a +3 because I'm using short sword.
Correct.
And then I use a dex modifier and a proficiency bonus.
That is to hit, not for damage. You are
Okay.
rolling 2d6 and you're adding 3.
Got you. It's a 6 and a 2, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11.
You slide right under the spider, kind of like slicing up the underside of its abdomen. As it does, it screeches out horribly in pain. You pop up the other side, so can we put Arwen on the other side of that spider? It is still standing, though its legs are kind of like shaky now as it's trying to like not let itself bleed out from underneath. It looks very rough currently.
Almost got the first kill of the game.
Alright, and with that, is there anything else that you would like to do with your turn?
We're flanking it now, right?
Yep.
Then I'm not gonna move at all.
Smart move. It's a smart move.
Yeah.
Gives anyone an advantage to hit.
Pretty much.
I'm ready for 2 nat 1s.
Or just accidentally let go of the die and roll 3.
Alright, so, that brings us, end your turn. Cool, that is going to bring us to Gab. Gab is going to come around the corner there.
Oh, thank God.
That's, what,
TBC.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet. Kind of see the predicament that he's in, kind of like, you see like probably 2 seconds kind of go by as she sort of is like processing everything. Her hand on her staff before she eventually releases that, taking out the device that she carries with her. That I don't know that you've ever seen her fully use. I believe she thought that you have. She pulls that out and sort of from that seems to summon a deck of cards. So like the device sort of like whirring to life in her hands. She holds sort of like a globe that has different pieces spinning about it as it kind of like just magically like floats above her hand. Kind of like taking her look around at like the spider, the dretches, the maul demon, and you. She is going to pull one of the cards from the deck at random. Plus and throws it directly at you. Sort of like whips it. It kind of hits you right in the chest, and as it hits you, it sort of just dematerializes into like a sort of green, sparkling, glowing energy. You are healed for 7 hit points. And with that, after she throws that, she kind of attracts a little bit of the attention of some of the enemies that are there facing you, and she sort of like takes the cards and spreads them out a little bit as they start like sort of just rotating along with this device, sort of all kind of floating around it, forming like an orbit of sorts. That will end her turn, and that brings us to Syl.
I'm gonna regret this, brother. So as Sylvan starts to move forward, he's taking off his glove as he's going to bite down on his thumb, drawing blood. Move right there for now. As he's going to cast the spell Bane.
Got you. That targets 3 enemies, yes?
Yes. And I'm going to target the spider, the demon, and the Gretch that is not hit yet.
Got you. All right, and what kind of saving throw does that force?
That will force a charisma saving throw.
Alright, so the spider, that is a 17 minus 3 is a 14.
That is right on, unfortunately.
Alright, so the spider's managed to passes. For the demon, that is 8 minus 3 is a 5.
Okay.
Alright, so it is baned. I don't have anything for that, but I will write that next to its name.
Okay, one's at least something.
And now the Dratch, who has been not hurt.
Not hurt.
Rolls 3 minus 4 is a -1. I'm going to guess that fails.
Yes.
So the Dretch is also baned.
They'll take a D4 to any attack roll they do, or saving throw.
Yes, they minus D4 to all of those, and
Nice.
please mark your
Ready?
concentration,
Okay.
as it is a concentration spell.
And I am going to then bring up my violin and then give Bardic Inspiration.
Alright, you have a D6 for Bardic Inspiration that you can use on
Attacks, saving throws, skill checks. So if, like if you wanted to break out of the web, you could do that. Attack. You have a few options.
Alright, anything else with your turn?
I can't really tell. You probably can tell. Is it 5 feet or like is there 10 feet? Like I can stand next to Gab.
You can stand next to her.
Yes.
You can. That's 5 feet where she's standing. You would have to either move past her or stay behind her.
Yeah,
Then,
because the staff is really small.
okay. Are any of them because I cast spell? Do any of them look like they're like focused on me or looking at me?
The ones that you've hit with Bane that you kind of see like the sort of darker, almost necrotic energy sort of gathering around and sort of just like pestering them. They definitely seem like a bit shaken, and they kind of like they can't. The spider sees you and kind of makes eye contact with you. The Maul Demon is like seeing it happen. The Dretch and the Maul Demon both kind of can't directly see you, but are looking in your direction.
And could allies get moved by us, or no? Would that be like difficult terrain?
They'd have to. It would be a little tough to get by you.
Would it be like 10 feet?
Yep. Lord hates a coward. There you go. So that ends your turn.
Yep.
Brings us back to the top of the round. Fen.
I hate spiders so much. I'm gonna try to hit him again, but now I have advantage.
Yes, you do. I'm also having flashbacks to your session 0.
Exactly. So first one was 16. 3. Glad I had that. So 16 plus 6 to hit.
That is absolutely a hit.
So
Go ahead and roll damage.
it's a D10 when it's dual wielded, correct?
That is correct. You're rolling
Not
with 2
dual
hands.
wielded, double handed.
Yes.
There. Wait, no. I thought. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I kept picking up the one that had the zeros on it, and I hate that one. So I'm going to deal 11 points of damage to it.
Got you. All right. So kind of like hitting the mandible the first time, it's now like trying to keep itself in. You notice like one of its legs give out, and it kind of like stumbles forward a bit, almost into your space. So you're able to take a half step back, plant your right foot, and just like bringing your sword up and straight down through its skull, just sort of like pinning it to the ground. So just sort of like, and it just is almost shatters the skull with the impact of the strike. Its blood just sort of like leaking out all over the cavern, and it goes still. You're able to pull your sword out, and it's just a limp body there, the legs giving out as it tumbles to the side. It is dead.
He's standing there like, I hear spiders! I hear spiders! And then I also regain HP from that. I gain HP equal to my charisma modifier and warlock level. So,
Ooh, what is that?
so that's 4, 5, 6
6.
HP.
And does somebody want to remove that spider from the playing field? Thank you. All right. Anything else for your turn?
I'm going to move forward. I guess so. This counts as 10 feet, right? I just want to move 10 more feet.
10 more feet after that?
Yes.
Perfect. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. That brings us to T. What would you like to do?
Try and break out of the webs, I guess.
All right. Give me a strength check.
You could use your bardic inspiration for that.
Do I have to say before or after I roll?
You can say after you roll, but before you know what the result is.
Okay.
So just make a strength check. Set your strength modifier.
It's gonna be a 5, so I'm not gonna bother.
All right. So you kind of like tug against it, but for right now, it's kind of holding you in place. You still have a bonus action, and your movement is 0.
So I can still try and attack. It's just at a disadvantage.
With your action, yes. Your bonus action, unfortunately, can only be an attack when your action is to attack, though, and you just spent your action attempting to break free.
Even though I have montastic traditions or whatever. I can...
Is Flurry of Blows dependent on...
It's not Flurry of Blows, it's just when you... Oh no, it's when you use an attack action. Never mind. Then I do nothing.
Is there anything else you would like to do with
I can't do anything else. I do nothing.
Even any of your key abilities?
I can't. And, well... I guess I'll do patient defense.
Alright, so it spends one of your key points, and since they have advantage on their attacks against you, you're essentially negating the advantage and is now an even roll for any enemies to attack you. Alright, with that, Tia sort of prepares herself to defend the best that she can in this situation. That moves us to the only remaining spider. The spider is going to... As the only one who was able to witness Syl attempting to cast a spell on it, the spider is going to move right up next to Syl. If somebody would like to do that. It unfortunately does. You don't get an attack of opportunity as it doesn't leave your range. But it's going to attempt to make a bite versus Syl. That is a... Goodness gracious. I wish I was rolling a little bit worse. It's a 21 to hit versus armor class. You take... not bad. 5 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. Your saves are on the bottom of your sheet.
The sheet.
No, your sheet.
That's 14 straight.
14 straight. That is enough to pass. Much like Fen, it sinks its teeth, this time into your leg, kind of right above the knee. You're able to kind of like... you probably don't use your violin, but you use your free hand to like shove it off of yourself. You feel the poison kind of pulsing through your leg before you kind of like shake your leg, kind of shake it out of you. You are also immune to this poison effect for the next 24 hours as you resisted it. That ends its go. Next up is going to be the Dretches. The Dretches are both going to take attacks at T.
The one suffers from Bane.
Yes, the one to suffer from Bane. So we'll go with the one that is not suffering from Bane first. That is the one up on top of the thing. It's going to be... a 19 to hit versus armor class.
Yep.
Alright, let's see if the other one hits as well. That is going to be another 19 to hit versus armor class, but minus 3, 16.
Nope.
Bane's saving your life there, making so only one of
Sorry,
them hits
I'm
you.
happy
All right.
Try and play support.
So you are going to take 3 points of piercing damage as its kind of grotesque flat face sort of reaches up and like sinks its teeth into you, and you're able to kind of like kick it off, blood trickling from that wound now too. After that, it is going to be Cat's turn. Cat is going to try and squeeze past Fen if she can.
It looks like there's
Yeah.
enough room.
Yeah.
Before it gets to just like the
Continue.
one person.
Yep. And then right behind Gab. And sort of like over her shoulder, fire at the spider. Natural 1. Unfortunately,
She shoots her in the head.
fires, and the spider's able to just like kind of like press itself flat against the ground real quick. The round smashing into the rocks there before it pops back up, re-engaging in combat with Syl. It misses, and that is unfortunately the end of her go. After Cat is Kai.
How bad is T looking right now?
Can't see it. Can't see it.
I meant to say I rushed into the room and then I wanted to ask that
Alright, so
question.
5, 10, 15, 20. I'd say with the rest of your movement, you can get in front of Gab if you would like to.
I'd like to.
I am not bloody.
She looks like she's restrained, which is an issue. She's bleeding a little bit, but she still looks healthy.
Does she look worse than?
I have not been touched.
So,
Oh,
okay.
well, actually, yes, I have. I'm sorry. Probably a bit worse or even.
Yeah, they both just look hurt, but not like dangerously so.
Alright,
In your experience.
Because you're trapped and you keep getting screwed over, I'm gonna cast Shield of Faith on T. Oh wait, within range. Okay, yeah. I had to make sure it wasn't touch. So you're gonna get a +2 bonus to AC.
Nice. Mark off one of your spell slots, or
Yep.
another one of your spell slots, and I believe that is a concentration spell, so mark that off as well.
You feel inspired. And
Oh yeah,
you're-
I didn't roll for concentration on the dancing lights, so I'm assuming they just dropped. Because I got hit.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my armor class was 18. So +2. It's
Nice.
pussy.
Well, you kept getting hit by 19,
Yeah.
so.
Hey, the one did not hit. Because of Bane.
Is a Bane. That is true. Anything else you're doing with your turn?
Um,
How much damage did you take?
I took 10 points of damage. when I-
Retroactively, just roll me a concentration check. Let's see what happens.
I want to see what happens first before I decide what to do.
That's like a 3 plus 2. So
Alright, so
It's
yeah,
an
so
action.
the
I'm
dancing,
assuming
the
the
dancing
dancing
lights
lights
are out.
Dang.
So there is now no light in this cavern. So any character that does not have
Great.
dark vision has disadvantage on all their attacks. Oh, that's also bad because that means well, Cat nat 1 her roll, so it's not like she could roll any worse than that, so it's fine. It's the only thing it's affected so far.
Oh. Since I cast a spell that does not deal damage or cause harm, I'm gonna activate my Shield of Glimmering Faith because I forgot to do that in my session 0.
That is very true.
So a glimmering shield will appear like in front of me after I cast the spell on T, and it protects me.
Let's see, do you have how much it protects you for?
The HP equals level of spell cast plus con. So
It'll actually be plus wisdom. I forgot to update on
oh
that,
right,
yes.
right. So what is that? My
Your wisdom modifier.
plus what?
Your wisdom modifier.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
level
it's-
spellcaster would just be straight up level.
Yeah, so it's a level 1 spell, since that's all you have right now.
Okay, so it'd be 5 HP?
That is correct.
Okay.
So you get a shield around you that has 5 temporary hit points.
Okay. And then that'll be the end of my turn.
Yeah, so you would notice this as well. As soon as Kai releases the abjuration magic, there's sort of like a glimmering shield that appears around him and appears to be protecting him. It is not a style of magic that anyone here has seen before, aside from Gab, who behind you kind of gives like an excited squeak.
Oh, lovely. Someone's
What
excited.
what color is the shield? Like what does it look like?
It is like fluorescent, not quite hot pink, but like fluorescent pink. Like a darker shade of like fluorescent pink is kind of like is glistening around
Alright.
you.
That's
Look,
there
look,
we go.
look at your character, honestly.
I like it.
So, anything else for you?
Oh no, that's it.
All right, so that moves us to the Maul Demon. The Maul Demon's kind of stuck there and doesn't really have a way around, so it's just going to attempt to lay into T.
With Bane.
Bane. That is 18 plus 4 is 22, minus 2 is 20.
I'm sorry. I
Still
tried.
hits. To say. It does. That is a 1. 6. Plus 6 is 7. 9 points of piercing damage as it once again just bites into you, this time up near the rib cage. You're kind of able to like shrug it off again, but this time it kind of almost like takes like a little piece out, and you now feel yourself like freely bleeding from your sides, kind of like soaking your wrappings. How are you looking?
Definitely bloodied.
That ends is all it can do its turn. We move next to Arwen.
How far up can I get with 35 feet of movement?
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. You can see the spider from where you're standing now.
Probably chill touch.
I was gonna say, how far can I cast Chill Touch? I didn't write it
120
down.
Range of range of 120.
It's a long one.
You
So
got it.
you're going to attempt to hit it with that?
I wish I could see the Maul Demon. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to hit it with that.
Alright, roll a spell attack. This plus
Should be on your next sheet.
Yeah, plus your proficiency and your if you wrote your spells down there.
I did write it down. I just can't find it. There it is. Plus 4.
That is correct.
So it's 12.
12 to hit the spider?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, just hits. Go ahead and roll damage. I believe it is 1d8.
It is 1d8. It's be helpful if I could find my d8. That's a d12. I'm so sorry. 4.
4. Alright, so who's all standing there?
Like everybody.
Yeah, well specifically you two would watch as like almost underneath the spider, like a ghostly spectral looking hand kind of like reaches up and kind of like wraps itself around it. It's like necrotic energy sort of like draining into the spiders that like pulls it down, sort of slamming it into the ground for a second. It's dazed, but then like continues standing up, but still you can see like some remains of the necrotic energy sort of coalescing around it as you do 4 points of damage. It looks a little rattled, and also I believe the effect of Chill Touch is it cannot regain hit points until the end of your next turn.
Lovely.
As the necrotic energy sort of sticks to it. Anything else that Arwen wants to do?
Nope.
All right, in that case, that ends your turn and brings us to Gab.
I didn't add sneak attack to that, right?
No, because it was a cantrip, and I don't believe you naturally add sneak attack to spells or cantrips. No, I thought it was correct with that. Yeah. So Gab also can't really see in this and realizes that there is a human with them and another of her kind with her, and is just going to go, no offense meant, but not all of us can see like this, and sort of like lifts her like sphere up into the air as dancing lights would appear. One like directly over T and the rest like illuminating the rest of the room here. That'll be her action. And then as a bonus action, kind of says something to her, says like a single word to herself. Behind her. Make a perception check. You.
Hmm?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use this one this time. No, I'm just gonna throw it because it didn't go well last time. It'll be fine.
It's gonna go
You see?
worse this time.
4.
8.
It's 8.
Plus perception.
4.
Yeah, it's 8.
12.
12. You would still hear it. Lean over for a second.
There's
Venus.
Everyone else, talk amongst yourselves for now so we can...
Bring your mic up so they can hear.
I don't want them to hear.
Like the dog video.
Oh my god, that's my favorite.
It's like, it's just a very wholesome video.
This is going lovely.
All right, so she mutters a word to herself as she extends more magic out towards T. Gab said that, yes. T, you regain 7 hit points as she casts Healing Word on you. And this is why you bring the healers.
Not bloodied.
Look at you doing stuff. Look at her running out of spell slots.
We'll see.
All right, so that ends her turn. Next up is Syl.
Thinking.
Said the bard.
I'm gonna move there, and I am going to swing my sword.
All right, so attack with your rapier.
But do I get flanking? I know I'm on the opposite side of it, but there are 2 people already.
I'm going to say no, just because Tia is restrained and not really in a position to do that.
Okay. Shoot. All right, I'll swing either way.
Go ahead and roll.
That's not good. 8.
8
Plus 3 be 11.
just misses. Strikes off the side of its head.
And I
It's now
can't-
kind of looking at you.
And I can't give anyone else a bardic inspiration because T already has one.
Can't you give it to multiple people?
I believe.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
you
can't give it to the same person
Oh,
yeah,
twice
can't give it to the same person.
in a row.
I see the thunder cannon. It sounds like it can do a lot, so I'm gonna give it to Cat.
Cat now has Bardic Inspiration. Good to know. Anything else for your turn?
That's it.
All right, so that brings us back to the
No. Yep, that's it.
top of the round. Fen.
So how far can I move into that room with 30 feet?
On the other side of Kai.
Yeah, 10, 20. Fine, I'll move there. Everybody just had to stop in the hallway. I could only get that far. How bad does this spider look?
A little rattled, but otherwise healthy.
Getting me mallet, except my sword. I'm just gonna attack the spider.
Roll,
There's not really much else that I could do.
roll the hit.
Wait. This is the better one. Nope.
What'd you roll?
11.
Just misses.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, glances off the side of its head, just like Syl's. Anything else for your turn?
I guess, I don't know if it's gonna work, but I guess I'll just do it to see if it'll help. I'm just gonna go and see if I can draw the attention of the things that like have her restrained, and maybe they'll come over here instead.
Fair enough. Make
All I know how to do is make noise.
make an intimidation check.
Oh god, yeah, I don't think he has very good intimidation. Where is it?
You have high charisma.
Oh, I get +4.
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
You
So we're
yell.
gonna die in a second, right?
Yes.
T, your turn.
I give you a thumbs up.
I guess I'll try breaking.
You also have the pieces.
It was
Yep.
worth a shot.
Alright,
So add your strength modifier.
that'll be 16. Yeah, I wanna get out of here. I'm using the
Bardic
inspiration.
Inspiration.
17.
That is enough to do it. You kind of rip yourself free of the webbing, and you're now standing back there, ready to fight. That is your action to break free, though. But you are thankfully not restrained anymore.
Okay. Bonus action. Never mind. I don't think I'm gonna. Oh, I'm just gonna stay there.
Alright, fair enough. After you, it's going to be the spider's turn. The spider now has 4 targets to choose from, so 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a 2. It turns towards Syl.
You gotta come to a kid, guys.
Alright, that is going to be
Who's throwing wine in a place like this?
not a great roll on its part. It's a 12 to hit versus armor class.
Because of the on, I do have a question.
Yes.
How do I use parry?
Parry is...
Because I don't want to get hit. I really don't want to get hit.
Oh, I thought you were bringing home like a metal lid.
Yes,
All it says
exactly.
is parry. DC is 8 plus proficiency plus dex.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's D&D rules on my phone. Give me 1 second to look at this.
Oh, so that's supposed to be like feigning attack, maybe?
When another creature damages you with a melee attack, you can use your reaction to expend your dice to reduce the damage by the number you roll plus your dex mod.
Okay.
So your dex mod is what, 1?
Yes.
So it's a d6 plus 1 once it rolls damage.
Okay.
So it does hit, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It is going to do 8 points of damage. You parry.
5.
5 total.
Yep.
So it does 3 points of damage. So it lunges at you, and you're kind of able to like stop most of it with your rapier. It kind of just like its mandibles sort of slicing up your arm instead of sinking into you, as you're able to push it to the side. And you see the poison there, but since you're already immune to it, you shake it off, and you don't even have to make a roll for it. It just does not affect you. So you take 3 points of damage, and that ends the spider's go. Good use of that feat. After that is going to be the Dretch's turn. One of the Dretch who is standing on the rocks is going to make its way over towards Kai. It does leave your...
So I get to swipe at it?
If you would like to use your reaction to make an attack of opportunity,
Is
you
that the
certainly
wounded
may.
one?
Yep.
What?
Is that the wounded one?
That is the wounded one.
18.
That'll certainly hit. Roll damage.
10
10 points of damage.
slashing.
Nice hit.
8.
That is just enough as it like leaps off the rocks. You're able to kind of like catch it right in the side as it jumps, sort of like tearing through about like the entire back half of it as it kind of like gives an awful scream and kind of like lands on the ground, sort of like sliding in front of Kai, but not quite reaching him. You notice like the blood as it's pouring out of it is like almost like a thick black tar, and it is like bubbling as it leaves its body. Make who's all standing there at this point? Everybody but Arwen. Who is proficient in either Arcana or History?
I'm proficient in both.
Yes.
History.
Both.
Make whichever check you would like.
I have
All of
negatives
us?
for that.
Or just...
I'll do our
Any people who I mentioned who are proficient in the things that I mentioned?
I don't have to though, right?
No, because you are not standing there.
History.
Nat 1.
Womp womp. What did you roll?
I got 14.
4?
14 total.
4?
Oh,
Which
I'm
one
so
were you rolling
sorry.
for?
Arcana.
I'll do 12 for history.
Religion.
Oh,
It's either religion or Arcana.
Well, I am going to do Arcana then.
What one? What is Arcana? Same thing?
Yep.
Cool. So 12 and 14. It definitely seems to be otherworldly. And based on you're kind of like putting together now like the smell, the look of these creatures, black tar like blood, it's bubbling, probably fiendish in nature, but it's a little bit hard to parse where fiendish in nature as far as the whole demon, devil, abyss, 9 hells debate comes in.
Gotcha.
But they definitely do not appear of this world and appear fiendish. Alright, so it dies. The other Dretch is just going to lunge for T.
Minus 4.
Yeah. That is a 21. Minus 4 is 17 to hit.
Nope.
Once again, Bane saves the day, causing it to miss you. That ends...
And the Shield of Faith.
Yes. That ends its turn. And that's going to bring us to Cat. Cat is going to kind of like cursing to herself, kind of take aim again at this spider, sort of like kind of preparing, looking down the barrel this time. That
She
is.
does have a D6 if she wishes to use it.
Yeah, and she is. Oh, thank God. That is
Just
13 total, so just enough to hit it.
Just here to play support card.
It's going to be 13 points of damage as she sort of takes aim at it this time. Fires going directly over Gab's shoulder, sort of splitting right in between Fen and Kai, and just sort of hitting the spider square in the face. It almost like pushing it back because it has to like dig its legs into the ground to not slide back. You can see like now pieces of like bone on its face exposed, and like it's definitely got like blood dripping down. You also notice that the blood dripping down, it is sort of like seems to be steaming almost as it comes down, and it's sort of getting more confused the more hurt it gets. All right, that ends Cat's turn. Next up is Kai. What would you like to do?
Get advantage from understanding.
It definitely looks very hurt at the moment, the spider does.
You're flanking it.
So how many are left? 3?
Yes, the spider, the large creature with the mouth and the weird 3 arms, and then the small pig-faced, flat-faced creature.
Alright, I'm going to put myself right in the middle of the 3.
So you're moving right there?
I'm gonna move. I'd say.
Alright. And what are you doing?
I am going to cast the cantrip Word of Radiance.
So any creatures within 5 feet of you have to make what kind of save is that?
Is it 5 feet?
Yes.
Are they all within 5 feet?
No.
What about now?
No, because 5 feet away from you is T.
Right.
You would have to move.
You know what?
Wait, from where you are, 5, 10, 15, 20. You could move like behind the other 2 and get them both, but you'd be moving into and out of combat range with that spider.
So it'd get an opportunity on you.
Why you gotta be in the way?
I'm surprised she's made it this far, so let's just think.
Can I
Let's
move
just
her
think
out
the
of the
rule that
way
she's
and
still
stand where
alive.
she's standing?
Can you get on top of this
No.
rock?
Can I get
here?
on top of this rock here?
You would take it
You can, but you still take an opportunity
God
attack.
damn it! You know what? I'll do it anyway.
Alright, so the spider's going to lunge out at you as you do. That is a natural 20 to hit.
It's okay. I have a shield.
You take, oh, that's a max damage roll. 11 points of damage.
-5.
-5.
So yeah, so it kind of like hits your shield, and you see it sort of like stop against an invisible force for a second before pushing through, and it kind of shatters in, and you take the remaining 6 points of damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yay. Damn it.
Very
Roll
good.
again.
It didn't land. Thanks. Can I take the first one?
Is that another one?
No. Alright, well.
What'd you roll?
Oh wait, I have a +5 constitution, that's okay. A 10.
That is just high enough to resist the poison, which is probably good. Otherwise, I have a feeling that your ass would have been grass, so to speak.
So I take 6
6 points of damage.
Alright.
And you are now immune to the poison effect. That said, you feel it pulse through, and it sort of like racks your whole body for a second. It's sort of just like that feeling when you stand up too quick, and it's just like and then you kind of like steady yourself, and you're just like, oh shit.
Okay. So
Now, if you cast Word of Radiance, you'll get 2 people in its area effect.
okay.
Is that what you're doing?
Yes, I'm
All right. So,
going
what kind of
to
save is that? So, what kind of save they have to make?
Would it be wisdom? Like
No, because spells are just act the way they
okay,
do.
so yeah, then it
Con
would be
save?
con save.
All right. And what is your DC?
14.
14. All right. So, first one rolls a 9. It's also baned, but like that doesn't matter because it's already too low. And the Maul Demon is also baned, right?
Yes.
Good. Alright, so that is boy. A 19 plus 1 is 20. Minus 2 is 18. So that succeeds, but the Dretch does not. It takes damage. How much
Alright.
damage does it take?
My bad.
Oh, good.
Okay, it's gonna take 1d6 radiant damage.
Go ahead
So,
and roll me a d6.
I'll describe it after I roll the d6.
Yes. 2 points of damage.
Yay. So I'm going to say a word in Infernal.
What word?
Um,
I was asking
I was-
Infernal.
Stop!
How about you say, "Begone, thoughts"?
No.
to be determined later. But I'm gonna say a word in Infernal, and then I guess I'll stretch my hand out, and can my staff be included in this?
Yes.
And the crystals on the end of my staff will glow a little bit, and as well as my eyes, and then a burst of radiant light will come out from around me and give a whole whopping 2 damage to the
We don't
what
know
was it, the
that.
Maw Demon?
We just know.
Yeah,
that
we
you
just
did
we
something
just know
cool.
we just know it hits the direction. It just kind of like seems to shriek back from it. It was really displeased by this.
He no like the light.
All right, so that ends your turn.
I don't know. I'll come up with a word later and I'll tell you.
Shabadoo. You'll work on.
Be gone, thought.
Does that end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Maul Demon, seeing T for the most part, it sees this kind of weak prey at the moment. It is going to make its way around the Dretch into combat with Kai.
Do I get an attack then?
You do not, because you
So,
already
like
used your
here?
reaction for this turn.
Like,
Yep. Around. There you go. It is going to make a bite at Kai.
we'll take a bane.
Yes.
Wouldn't it still get one?
Yes.
If Sil would like to take one, you can.
I will like to. I am rolling a lot of 8s tonight.
Is
Oh,
my
that's 9.
shield gone now?
Yes.
Does a parry count as a reaction or no?
Wasn't that last turn?
I don't know anymore.
No, because the spider attempted to bite you. You do not have your reaction. That is correct. Thank you for catching that.
I wasn't even trying to be shady. I just don't know how parries work.
No, yeah.
Neither did
Alright, so now it's going to attempt to bite you. That is... a funny feeling this is probably not going to hit. That is a 9 to hit versus armor class.
No.
So it bites at you and you're kind of able to like use your staff to kind of keep it at bay.
This is a very clutch spell.
That ends your turn. That brings us to Arwen.
Cool.
What you doing?
How far can I get?
5, 10, 15, 20. You're 20 feet there.
Maybe it's there.
Yes.
You can get sneak attack damage on, I think, pretty much all enemies.
25. And if I move right there, I still have sneak attack damage?
Yes, because it's engaged in as long as it is engaged in combat with one of your allies, then you are good.
Dope. So I'm gonna sneak up behind this guy. I take my daggers, I'm gonna jump up and I'm gonna slam it in the eyeballs.
Go for it.
You
Roll the
have,
hit. Roll the hit.
advantage,
Yeah, but
too.
you have advantage because you are flanking.
Is that your die in there right now?
I
Yes.
have advantage. I need another die.
Your die.
Your
is
die's in there.
Oh, it's in there? No wonder I couldn't find it. Ooh,
19, that's good.
19. Hello.
I can already tell you that's going to hit before you add anything to it. Alright, so that is, if you're doing it with your daggers, that is a d4 plus a d6, plus your dex mod.
Plus dex mod.
Yes. So plus 3.
Plus 3. But I also get another plus 3.
Nope.
No, I don't.
It's a d4
Sorry.
plus a d6 plus 3.
Yep. My bad. Oop.
All good.
That's okay. There's a lot of things to do with rogues.
4. 7.
7. That is just enough as you are able to kind of jump up, slamming both daggers into the spider's eyes. It sort of like gives like a shriek as it like whips once, whips twice, and then finally just kind of like falls kind of backwards. You're able to like slide down the back of it as it falls there, lifeless. It's blood pouring out of its body. It's also kind of like unnatural, black like tarry. Are you proficient in either Arcana or Religion?
I am proficient in Arcana.
Roll me an Arcana check.
Oh yeah, I did Arcanas.
8.
Seems weird.
What,
That doesn't seem like normal spider blood. Very odd.
All the charisma based skills pretty much.
All right, so does that end your turn? Oh, and also I will take that spider mini now.
Woo.
No more spiders.
30. Can I get up here?
I still don't trust you.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Am I able to do that?
Yep.
You said something.
Not you.
To me.
Oh, I'm sorry. So, am I helping anyone flank anything? I don't think so.
Nope.
Nope. Well, I'm
Just
up
having a
here
good
now.
time.
All right. Cool. Next up is going to be Gab. Move Gab forward. Let's go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Sorry, I have to like move this.
Can she go like in that corner there? Yeah. And is going to once again reach up and take a card. As she grabs it, you saw it and you saw it. When she grabbed the 1 and threw it at T, it sort of like glowed with a green light as soon as she grabbed it. This one, as she grabs it, it glows with a red sort of light. She's going to attempt to throw it at the Maul Demon. It's going to hit. That is going to be cocked. 7 points of... Yeah, alright. As this one, she whips it straight at the demon, and right as it comes in contact with it, you see just sort of like the faint sort of outline of like almost like a dagger. As soon as it makes contact, and the energy from the card explodes into like red sparks, much how when it hit you it exploded into green sparks, and sort of like pierce its way straight through the creature as it takes 7 points of piercing damage. As it gets hit by this card, it's sort of like stumbling back a bit. Card's still worrying about her device. Mark that down. All right, that ends her turn, and that's going to bring us to Syl.
Why am I too brave for my own good? I'm gonna move right there, and I'm going to attack with my rapier. And flanking.
That is correct. Roll with advantage.
That would be a 18.
That is certainly going to hit.
That will be 7 damage.
7 damage. Has an impact. You sort of like kind of go in and kind of catch it in one of its arms, sort of piercing all the way through before pulling it out. That arm sort of like now kind of drops down and now limply kind of hangs at its side as it only has 2 functioning arms.
I am going to give then a bardic inspiration to T.
So you have a bardic inspiration once more.
All right.
And again, you can use it for skills, attacks, saving throws.
All right. Anything else? So
That is it.
brings us to Fen.
I want to get in on this demon hunting action, and I'm gonna go. I'm gonna use me mallet on the demon, the one with the mouth on its back.
So
But I'm gonna go around the other side, kind of pass by Gabby.
Yes.
I want to do that so I don't get an attack
Right
of
here?
opportunity from the. But can I be on the other side of it? Because she's in the corner, right?
so you want to be
Yes.
between them.
Yeah. That's my battle cry.
Oh.
As everybody can tell, he's not very used to battle.
Roll the hit.
So it's a 7. That's a 17 plus 6 to hit.
23.
Yes.
And that's going to be my d10 plus 4. So that is 5 points of damage.
Thing.
All right. You still
That was a 7
you
for
still
a second.
slice across the body. The blood's starting to pour out as it now it's like kind of like trying to adjust itself to take attacks from all sides.
And that's it. Use my movement and my attack.
All right. That ends your turn. Brings us to T.
Here.
Oh, hell yeah.
Roll to hit. Would you like to
Stab.
attack? I would imagine.
You can also use your bardic
Does
inspiration.
it
if you
count
don't
as
think it's
being
gonna hit.
flanked?
I-
with
It does count as
Alright.
being flanked.
I'm not gonna need it.
rad? What if you got a-
22.
What if you
All
got a
right.
nat
Roll
20?
roll again to see if you nat 20 at least.
Right. No.
All right. So roll damage.
10.
10.
Nice.
All right. You slam into it. It's now looking pretty hurt, but still standing.
Key point. Flurry of blows.
All right. Make 2 additional unarmed attacks.
I'm rolling with advantage for the first one. That's approximately a lot. 18 plus 7.
Yep. That'll hit.
Nice. 9 for the first one.
Slam right into it, kind of slamming it directly into the ground. You sort of almost like pin it with your fist to the rocks that Kai is standing on, and it just sort of, you feel like a really sickening crunch as it just goes limp.
Since I used flurry, wait, it's dead, right?
Yes.
Since I used flurry of blows, can I use the second hit on the whatever that is?
I don't know that you're allowed to move in between. That said, since you only used a single attack, unuse that key point.
Okay.
So she slams it into the rock. I'm just like, shit.
So I was here.
Yep.
5, 10.
Oh no, it looks like you can't get out.
And that's it.
All right, ending your turn. That's going to bring us to
Gonna ruin his day.
Cat.
Ruin his day.
Cat moving anywhere?
Oh, sorry, wrong person. Cat will come into the room and then kind of look backwards to make sure nothing else is coming. She doesn't feel comfortable firing into a group of that many people.
That's
Because
valid.
at this point,
Thank
that
you,
it would
Cat.
have probably 3/4 cover from the amount of bodies in front of it. So she like doesn't like trust her aim, but doesn't want to be that person.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of realizes Professor Oak comes on in her head. There's a time and a place for everything.
Not now.
And she wears
All right, so
My bike indoors.
after her, that is going to bring us to Kai.
That's me.
finish
you.
it off.
We'll see. I guess I'll use Word of Radiance again.
All right, it will make another, what is it, con save?
Mm-hmm.
-4.
Yes. 17 plus 1 is 18, minus 3 is 15.
Oh, yeah, pass.
All right, so it succeeds. So it kind of dodges out of the way of the flames
You never know.
remaining in spot.
D4 helped a few times so far with you missing you.
Anything else you'd like to do on your turn?
me? Okay,
You're staying where you are.
I have a small knife.
Unfortunately, you've already used your action, so I don't know if that'll help.
Alright, then I'll
No.
stand up on my rock.
All right,
And
so that brings
watch.
us to the Maul Demon's turn. Sensing that it can't escape, since I don't think it can actually move through enemy
No.
spaces.
Yo, I wanted to get like 8 attacks of opportunity on it.
It is going to. Do any of you look bloodied?
No.
I haven't even been
Nope.
touched.
Almost.
Do you
And
look
you're
bloodied?
playing a very good rogue.
I'm exactly 50%.
In that case, it's going to turn its attack towards you.
Sylvanus, no.
11 plus 4 is 15, minus 4 is 11.
That actually does not hit.
Hey!
So it goes to lunge at you. You're able to like just kind of like go out of the way, kind of like slashing up at it, keeping it back with your rapier. That's going to end its turn. It doesn't have much else to do. After the Maul Demon is Arwen.
Hi. Can I grab out a short sword, hop down from my lovely rock onto this demon, and just slash wherever I can slash?
You certainly may.
Watch out for his big man.
You have advantage on the
How do you guys
attack.
finish this thing off?
Just jumps right into the
Oh,
map.
That's pretty good. 13 plus
13.
dex and proficiency.
I couldn't remember. Thank you.
Is it like 18?
18.
That'll certainly hit. Roll damage. That is 2d6 plus 3.
Nice.
8.
8.
Oh boy.
Alright. So, would you like to describe what happens? Because it is no longer living. So,
Fantastic.
yeah. How would you like this to go down?
I'll take my sword in both hands, raise it above my head, and I'll leap down off this rock and jam my sword down its throat.
Yeah.
You kind of hear like this awful gargling noise as you kind of cut into it.
Sorry.
The blood like pours into its throat. You're also like, it's almost scalding to your hands how hot the inside of this creature is. As it just sort of like takes like an unsteady step back, another unsteady step back, and then just sort of falls.
Whoop!
Yes, that was
What?
the study.
Nothing. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I think it's under my seat.
I can't see where it is.
It's
It's
okay. I
fine.
got more.
And then just sort of falls lifeless in between Syl and T. And as it's laying there, the blood boiling like black tar trickling out of it, it's the body almost immediately starting to decompose into ash. I'll say everyone, again, who is proficient in either religion or arcana, make one more check.
While they do that, I spit on it.
A natural
In its
one.
mouth.
Unnatural 20.
I got under 10.
What
So.
was my dice? 4.
4.
9.
Looks weird. Real weird. Unbelievably weird. So based on how it is decomposing and just the nature of it and how it was yelling, its growls sort of seem to come out in a language that seemed to be of either the abyss or the 9 hells. And due to its nature, you know that it's probably one of those two places.
For
Since it
chance.
is.
If I knew Abyssal,
Do you know abyssal?
yes.
It appears to be abyssal. So you would recognize that this is a creature of the abyss, and that these creatures were likely all of fiendish nature of the abyss. From the back of the group, as everything is now quiet and still, you just hear, "Holy fucking shit," as you turn, and there is just like a pale-faced dwarf just staring wide-eyed at all of this, and he's just... Right. So, good job. This is a first, hopefully a last. That said, I'm going to come right out and say it as someone who can do math fairly quickly. 6, 7, 50, 350. Yeah, some of the better 350 gold pieces that I've ever fucking spent. Good job. Wow, none of you died. That's...
I want to go home.
Wow, that thing is so... Oh, God.
Can I,
It's a big spider.
Can I collect some of its blood? Is there any of its blood left?
Yeah,
I have, like, glass vials with me. I'm gonna
As
put
well.
some.
black and tarry.
I can probably make a really icky potion
He,
out of this.
He goes up to where you can kind of see the floor sort of becomes more carved, the wall becomes more carved there, and kind of like goes through the grate. Comes into this section here before... Well, not only that, but everything's here too. Looks like this is, I will,
I guess they weren't heavy drinkers.
It seem not. I'm going to go get the crew that is outside. If you would like to remain here, you may. I will be right back with them. He starts walking to the outside.
I'm probably gonna regret this, but it's possible I can check the unexplored
That's
I
what I was
wanted to do that
thinking
too.
Check the what?
unexplored part of the cave.
If you would like to. Are you just checking that part?
Can I go with?
Yeah, I want
Yes.
to check too.
Alright, so the three of you go there. You would
In case there's any more.
comes to an open room at a dead end. Nothing special.
I go to this corner and I sit the fuck down.
Fair enough. Gab walks over to you and just kind of like plops down next to you. You okay? You need anything?
I'm fine.
You hurt at all still?
Yeah, but you've done enough.
Are you sure? I can still do more.
Unless more things come, I'll be fine.
Alright.
Oh wait,
Do
I'm
that.
Oh wait, sorry. When you're done. You said you were looking bloodied, right?
Yes.
I would heal you with healing word. Uh, 1d4 plus. Okay.
Plus 4. Because your bonus, I think.
I can't see it.
It's a 1.
Yep.
You get 5 HP back.
Thank you very much.
Feeling any better?
I do.
I feel great, thank you.
I strategically used one of my spells to best suit us in this fight.
Anything else that anyone would like to do while you're in the cave waiting?
Just search it.
Are you searching all of it?
There, we're still waiting, though. Searching here.
All right, so you search there. Make a perception check for there. Well, are you just kind of looking around, or are you searching like intently?
Generally, like, possibly if there's other things
Like-
here, there might have been bodies,
So like bodies,
possible things that were left behind, loot, stuff like that.
All right, roll an investigation check for here then. Is anyone else?
Yeah, I'm
I'll
still
help
in
him.
this area. So
All
Like,
right,
I'll
so
give him advantage.
do it with advantage. Well, we'll have you go here. You're staying here, so you can roll for that area. Investigation.
What's over there?
What's over there? That's just sort of like a cliff that kind of drops off into where the river is.
Roll.
Roll with advantage, yes. Investigation.
That'll be a 18.
18. So near one of the web sacks over here, you find like a small bag, possibly left over from someone who came in here who was less fortunate than all of you. In the sack you find a dagger, as well as 6 gold pieces. And 14 copper pieces.
Oh, you can have those. I don't really need them.
How many copper?
14.
14. Does the dagger look magical?
Looks like a dagger to you.
Okay.
You're investigating over here.
My apologies.
that's 12 plus investigation.
Yes.
14.
14. So you go around, you are kind of like looking at everything. You notice one section of, as you're sort of like going along the walls, you notice like a 10-foot section of wall that appears to be slightly disjointed from, sorry, the cat is playing with the construction paper.
Being bad. No, maybe that'll discourage me.
Yo, he's fucking it up.
Please.
He was getting after that construction paper.
He was like,
Definitely good to know.
He
Definitely,
knows we should have been done.
yeah, I was about to say definitely good to know. But you notice a 10-foot wall where it seems to be disjointed, slightly discolored from the rest of the wall. It seems to be a little bit more gray and black than brown, whereas the rest of the wall is kind of covered in dirt. It seems a little bit more.
Can I like put my hands all up on it and just feel it out?
Yeah, make a general intelligence check.
Make a
oh, you
feeling
should
up
be
a
good
wall
with that
check.
because of your class.
Intelligence. So you had your intelligence modifier.
9.
9. There's definitely something weird with it, but you're not able to figure it out.
Hey guys, come here.
I'll go.
Hark.
Bill, can I do something before we
Yes.
get there? I would like to toss the bag of gold and copper to T.
She deserves it.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
this feels.
She got beat on.
Did not write down how much.
6 gold pieces, 14 copper pieces.
And I would like to hand you the dagger because I saw you fighting with daggers.
You handed me the dagger.
Yes, you have an
Thank you.
additional
Now I have
dagger.
3.
You must construct additional daggers.
So what exactly were we
dagger,
called
dagger.
in here for? What's happening?
Different half elf.
I got a dagger. Now I
Oh,
have
that's why
3.
we're in here?
Alright, so what is everyone else
It
doing
may
now?
mean nothing
Oh.
to them.
I go up to the wall, look at it.
Make a general intelligence check if you would like to try and...
Oh, I wanted to look at the wall too.
Alright, both of you make intelligence checks.
Oh.
I would,
Huh. Damn it. What was that?
10. I
just-
got 15.
I suppose.
I
they
also
don't-
got 15.
So both of you at the same time kind of notice there's one rock sort of like right up center that seems to be extended further out than the rest of them. And it seems to be cut in a very peculiar shape.
What kind of shape?
I
You
start
pushing
smacking it? Yeah, does it go in?
You push it, it goes in,
You get Scooby Doo.
and there is a stairway going down.
Whoa.
Looks man-made.
Oh my.
Arwen's
So we're
not
totally going down the stairway, correct? My drow
Arwen's already
curiosity is
going.
Arwen
piqued.
doesn't even ask. He's gone.
Oh, Arwen has the right idea, and I'm going to chase after him with a childlike excitement.
Anybody else going?
I'm going after them to make sure they don't get themselves killed.
I'll like sigh,
Somebody
kind of
tell
like
Darius.
shit, fuck, and then follow them.
Thank you all for joining us back. We know we're going a little late here, but we're going to wrap things up shortly. So going back to where we were, there is a staircase that seems to descend down from that, and it seems that the 5 of you were all heading down. Gab and T were the last 2 people going. Though Gab does turn to you and just, should we go down with them, or should someone be up here still when Mr. Darius returns?
Do you really think that lot can handle themselves by themselves?
I mean, they managed to not die against all the other stuff.
I mean, 2 of them are injured.
Well, yeah, but one of them can do, like, healy stuff like I can.
You can stay if you want. I'm going. You can stay with Kat if she's not coming.
Cat's already there. Alright, so Gab will wait up there for Darius to return. You go down.
I swear to God.
Like a semicircle spiral stairs, probably about 15-20 stairs in total, going down about 10-15 feet into a small chamber. This chamber is entirely carved stone with completely smooth walls forming a circle about 10 feet in radius, so like a 20-foot diameter circle. There are torches attached kind of diagonally on the wall. One here, one here, one here, one here. If you're entering from right, like the center.
Okay, lit.
They're lit. The flames are blue and provide bright light for this chamber. Carved into all the walls are sort of just like a ring, another ring of just like arcane looking sigils in some language that... What languages do you speak?
Good question.
I can read all writing.
I can do comprehend languages if they allow me.
Common, Elvish, Sylvan, and Thieves can't.
So you don't know what they say normally. You can read all writing.
Yeah, I have Eyes of the Runekeeper, so I can just read all writing.
You recognize it as it's Draconic.
I mentioned that out loud. I say this is Draconic.
Okay,
I don't speak it, but
What?
What does it say in Draconic?
It doesn't say
Or are
anything.
they just like magical symbols?
It doesn't say anything specifically. It's just sort of arcane sigils in Draconic.
Can I look around the room, like investigate a little bit?
Can I do some sort of like perception on the carvings and see if I would like know what like?
Make an Arcana check. Make a Perception check.
I was sorry. I mean kind of more like the stonework, like if it's like new or old, like tech masonry.
Make an Investigation check.
Is it okay if I just roll?
Yes.
I would like to just start comprehend languages and then something starts speak, even though Ben might be able to read it. He
Yeah, I
for
can't speak it.
Go for it.
And I got an 8. So.
Unnatural 20.
A natural 20. All right, 8. It looks old.
Yeah.
It doesn't look new.
Okay.
I rolled well.
You rolled a 20, unnatural 20 on your perception check.
Mm.
All right. So you notice there's kind of like a an altar of sorts in the center of this room. It is about 3 feet high, maybe 5 feet wide, and about 10 feet long. So there's only 5 feet to pass on either side. And there are sort of 2 objects that are poking out from the walls, kind of in a diagonal up. Sort of like, if this is the altar, one is here, one is here.
Can I tell what they are?
Make an Arcana check, but wait until after I finish describing what you found from your perception check. There are even more sigils carved into the everything. And on top of the altar is carved in a different language. You both would recognize this as Abyssal.
Oh, good. I can actually naturally speak that and read and write it.
Once again, just like sigils, not necessarily any specific words.
Mm-hmm.
You also find like a small sort of shrine in the very back of this, past the altar. If you would like walk past the altar to explore that. And there are a number of items sitting there. You would find coins laid out in like a small bowl. Are you taking them or?
Can I examine them first?
Yeah, it would be 14 gold pieces.
I take them.
And 26 silver pieces.
Wait, can you start over how many
14 gold pieces.
Okay.
26 silver pieces. And on the altar is interesting. Wow. Glad I wrote it for both occasions. A very odd sort of object. It looks like it sort of curves up about 2.5 feet of just like a curved metal-like substance that is just sort of like maybe about yay thick, very intricately designed. A kind of odd grip that kind of extends like this off of it. And then the same as this material here, but it's bent like this. So it kind of comes up, a handle, and then the other piece. Stringing from this piece to this piece is about 8 strings going across that makes it almost seem like a lyre, but with extra strings.
I was gonna say a
I
harp.
have one of those.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So it's like a harp or like a lyre.
Yeah, it's not quite big enough to be a harp. It's about 2.5 feet. The holding part of it is about 1 foot long, and then the other thing also extends about 2.5 feet. And it's got the 8 strings attached to the outside, and then finally like the very tip. So it kind of like comes out and it's intricately designed. It comes to like sort of like almost a point. It sort of like almost flares a little bit like this at the end of each one. A final 9th string kind of going from tip to tip. So it's like 8 strings that look playable, and then a final string that kind of like connects it all.
This looks like something that summons demons.
And that is like sitting on the altar itself.
Can I take it?
Do you just walk up and grab it?
Can I walk up and pluck one of the strings?
Sure.
Then I'll do that.
Which string do you pluck?
The third one.
Do kind of like a really clear, beautiful note kind of rings out from it.
Oh god.
Are there no monsters or anything down here?
No.
I leave.
All right, you go back upstairs. Nothing happens. It just plays the note. It kind of echoes really nicely in this atmosphere, but that's it.
Does it sound nicer than the lyre I already have? My eyes twitching. That's.
I
think that's a sign.
It does. There's also I should mention the metal of this. It is white, like not like, oh, that's kind of white, like snow, like untouched snow on a mountaintop, white, with a light blue detailing in the carvings kind of running up it.
I think we can sort of switch these two out, and the demons won't know. Karaoke night would be insane if I brought
Also,
I highly doubt it was some.
this. Smart.
there is also a faint light blue glow coming from this item as well.
Detect magic.
Are you detecting magic?
Mhm.
It is lighting up like nothing you have ever seen before. It is almost blinding the amount of magical light this is giving off of you. I will also say, who's proficient in religion here?
Not it.
Both of you?
Yeah.
Both of you make a religion check.
Can I tell what kind of magic?
Make a general. Is religion intelligence?
Yes. I got unnatural 20.
Not 20!
Hey! We both know what the fuck's going on.
The type of magic coming from it is evocation. No, it is a mix. It is a mix of evocation and enchantment.
I yell back, "Hey guys, what do you think would happen if I took this?"
As both of
Let's
them
find
are
out.
examining it, I'm gonna get to the rolls first, and then I'll let them respond to you. Sorry, I'm just trying to get everything in order here. So with your unnatural 20, you feel the presence coming from this feels almost in opposition to the presence of the altar and in opposition to the presence of the creatures you fought here and the general feeling of everything. It does not feel like it's connected to it. If anything, it feels like it's almost like an antithesis. Antithesis, is that the word I'm looking for to it? For you, almost celestial in nature. Celestial in nature and sort of blessedly celestial in nature, in the same way that a person you know that is very close to you is blessed and celestial in nature. Not only that, but you in particular feel a very strong calling towards this thing.
Touch its symphonies.
I know why this is connected. I'll pick it up.
You pick it up, and it weighs probably about 15 or 20 pounds. But you feel satisfied, content, holding it. One of your attunement slots is now used, but as you have not identified it, you do not know what it's attuned to.
Oh, lovely. If the group will allow me, I would like to play one of my own sympathies from it.
I'm not gonna say no.
Make a performance check with advantage.
That's another nat 20.
Hey.
It's your own it's your own like composition. Not only is this instrument playing more beautifully than anything that you've ever played before, and you've played on the best instruments that money can buy, it makes that look like something you would use for kindling. There's almost like, as you pluck one note, it almost sounds like you pluck a note and there's harmonies there. You pluck a string to play an A, and a C, the third, appears. An F, the fifth, also sounds. The octave above, the octave below also sound as you pluck that string. It's almost like haunting in nature, the way that like this instrument's very essence is just sort of like enhancing this music. It's entrancing for anyone standing there listening to it, as they are all just like glassy-eyed staring at you.
Well, at least these straight and cat got to see it.
So you have like a god harp, right?
I
Definitely super holy.
I have a feeling I know what this is connected to and how. But I am not sure until I have this identified, at the very least, or bring to a inkling of where I think it could be connected to.
To the church.
You have to go to a specific church.
To the specific church.
Cat
You'll
kind
figure
of
it out.
pipes up, or to someone who knows a lot about magic.
That as well.
Are you looking it over at all, or?
Yes.
You would also notice, aside from all of the details I've already pointed out, the three last things you would notice is on the outside of the bow, as it like bows. So the outside of the bowing arch. I guess it's more of a crescent than a bow, but on the outside of the crescent, on one piece that extends down, there is a hole. Not a hole that goes all the way through, but sort of like a divot. It is about 3 inches wide, 3 inches high, a very intriguing shape that is almost like a crescent in and of itself, like a crescent going left. It's pressed about 1.5 inches deep. On this part, the top, you could say, same thing, but it's facing the opposite way. And finally, on the part that looks like it would be a handle, on the inside of that is another carving, this one about 2 inches high, 2 inches wide, 2 inches deep, and this is a full circle. An indent to it.
Interesting.
Let's bring it back guys go back upstairs. There does not appear to be anything further down here.
Can I take the bowl?
The bowl?
Was in? Is it
Yeah.
like a nice bowl?
It seems to be some sort of metal.
First of all, this is mine now. Second, I feel like we should destroy this altar. What if somebody just uses it to like summon demons and things again?
You can certainly try.
What is the altar made out of?
Before
The altar?
the
I was about to say, the altar is hewn from the stone.
Yep, he's kicking it with no effect.
Absolutely, yeah, nothing.
My dear friend, what if you, friendly, and if you insist,
Friendly.
what if you cause a cave-in down here and trap yourself down here?
Oh, well, that's okay. I die as I live
We can
alone.
instead of trying to destroy
Yes.
the altar that's very much like carved, we can go upstairs and then block it off that way.
Yes.
It'll be less work and less of a danger to your
Just
health.
want it to be exciting.
Right, so,
You're so much
that makes
excited.
all of you
thank
head
you.
back upstairs.
That makes more sense. I guess we could just bust the mechanism that opens it. Yeah.
Right, so, you come back in, you sort of like put the stone back in its place so it closes. Yes?
Do the people upstairs hear this?
The melody?
Yes.
Yeah, you hear the echoing of just like an absolutely haunting melody from upstairs. Gab is sort of like entranced and sort of like peering. We'll get to that. We'll get to that next week. But so you all come back upstairs. The wall closes back up as you reverse it.
If you'd like the honors.
A really limp-wristed trying to break it, but he doesn't know how to break the mechanism. Oh wait.
Make a strength check.
I don't have anything.
Flash.
Wait, I have bolts because I also have a crossbow. Could I maybe like jam a bolt in there?
Yeah.
I'll do
You-
that.
Oh yeah, I could jam it.
You
in and
you jam a
break it.
bolt. You jam a bolt in there and kind of like snap. I won't even make you make a strength check for that. It just kind of snaps off and kind of prevents the rock from being pushed in. It looks like you'd have to do some serious tool work in there to dislodge it. But with that,
I helped.
Darius comes back in, leading the group of people. Kind of instructs them into there. They start unloading things. He kind of gestures for you all to make your way outside. Now that they kind of have things handled, so you can watch the carts. The one thing is, as he as like you pass him, he just like looks at the item that you're holding. Did you have that when we came in here?
Yes.
All right. And just sort of lets everything continue on as all of you kind of find your way outside. Are now standing guard. It's about probably 4 or 5 p.m. now. You spend a decent amount of time in here. It's around supper time now, getting towards some of the latter parts of the day as the sun is starting to set low in the hills. All of you breathing a sigh of relief, kind of like looking around at all of these strangers who were unlucky enough
Just a few of
to
them.
be stuck in this battle and in this encounter and situation with you, but you've all survived.
Somehow.
And hopefully it'll be an easy ride back for an easy payday, and can go about your lives. But as you look out over the evening sky of the hills outside the cave, outside the city of Baldur's Gate, that is where we will end our session. So what did you guys think? Have fun?
It was beautiful. Sunbeam.
I will get my revenge somehow.
I was considering texting you beforehand and being like, Pat, would you be mad if there were spiders as enemies in this cave?
Scathing.
You know what? Then I'm glad I'm asking for forgiveness and not for permission. Saz.
Lemoyne. Fuck my off ass.
So, I'm glad I was able to do a good job and it looked like everyone had fun. You survived your first combat.
We did.
Part of me didn't think it was going to happen, especially, it didn't really, I made the encounter and I thought, alright, this might not be that bad. And then as I was writing all of the monsters' hit points totals there and remembering what yours were, I was like, ooh, that's a lot. I don't know if this is going to go well.
I just want to say Bane was a very useful spell.
It was.
Yes, it was. People underestimate the power of, support characters, but you know what? Without support characters, your monk would probably currently be inside the bellies of some abyss-dwelling creatures, and no one would have had a good time. Sorry that one spider decided to take its sticky butt juice and was like, you know what? You don't get to Dungeons and Dragons today.
I'm glad I got to use me mallet.
I'm glad I
At least
rolled
I know
terrible
at least-
until it didn't
I know
matter
at least
anymore.
3 of us creatures missed attacks because of it.
Yeah, it was definitely very useful. But with that, thank you all for tuned into our first stream, for tuning into our first stream. We will have this up as a video on YouTube to view,
Hopefully on Wednesday.
hopefully on Wednesday at.
Our YouTube channel. The Unlucky Few, if you search it, it's linked on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and all of them on TUFD&D.
Yes, and it will be at 7 p.m. the same time that we are our live stream.
Yes.
All right, so you can catch that then. But until next time, we have been the Unlucky Few. We love all of you out there and appreciate your support. And until next time, bye!
Bye!
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll be live streaming starting November 9th at twitch.tv/TUFD&D. If you want more content or updates from us, feel free to follow us at Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, all at TUFD&D. Links in the description below. But from all of us here at The Unlucky Few, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.